That works,
up,
yeah.
folks?
No, that works. That works for me. I think we should get this show started. We have so much to talk
Are
about.
we streaming right now?
Yes, we're streaming.
Oh, hello everyone.
Hello. But we should
AJ,
probably
who's out there? Do your roll call. What are you waiting for?
let's cue the
Cue the
cat.
cat. Because I want to say what's up to Conzer, who says, bruh. Johnny Right About the Stray Cat says,
Bruh.
rawr. Fatty N, meow. Catastrophe. We've got a catastrophe in the chat.
Nice.
Meow. That game cat in the chat is purring. They're so on point today. Robert Sullivan says, today I want to play Dreams with PSVR without Parole. Live comes first. I've been watching Brian, Dave, and AJ play. I can't hardly wait. You should be excited. Be very excited. Robert Sullivan, what's up, dude? Jason Ewing, howdy. Woody the Bluebird, Ash454, the Game Cat. Meow. Happy Homers, Game Cat Arcade. Hello. Gumballs Game Room says, I'd love to watch, but I'm busy creating in dreams. Yay. I don't blame you. Shadow 2005. Oh, Ahmad, Texotron, Hibsy the Game Cat. Simon C, Gamer Chick 13, what's going on? Professor Lilith, David Moore, Philip Games Dev, hello, Lou, the Game Cat, Nick Mulo, our trusty mod in the house, Jumpy3YNL, curious about PSVR dreams? We have plenty to tell you. Wink Rogers, the Game Cat, Guy Sun, fist bump to you. Roy Schwartz, what's up, my dude? Just incredible hack. The Game Cat is late, y'all. Great tantrum, JP. Rune, Stormfly, Berber Cat, Insidious. That's a new one. Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat. Game Cat L, not L's successor. Believe H3, the Spartan Game Cat. Jay Coy, JK Game Cat. I know how to say it now. MTM and Stark 798 Duran Fan VR. Pablo Penguin, what's up, cats?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me switch. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you live because that's what live means. We do it right away as we do it. And the newest addition to my household loves to hit things on the keyboard when I'm doing things important. So if the stream just drops out, you can all blame Tornado. Also, that's not Tornado in the introduction. Even the people from that followed her on Kitten Academy said, I love the video you made with Tornado for the introduction to your show. And I was like, oh no, we've had that forever. That cat's dead and gone. Long gone. Joining me this week, as always, the boys, Dave from Dave Station, the VR.
Hello. It's an exciting week. I cannot wait to get into this stuff.
That goes especially, I was going to say it goes doubly for me, but no, it's the same. Same for me as you. We're very excited. And that guy to the far right-hand side of the screen, AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
You know, now that I have played a Marble Madness game in VR while some serene Final Fantasy VII music is playing in the background, I can now say I have lived.
Life is complete.
All right. Very good.
There is nothing better. Did you see that Final Fantasy VII introduction that dude made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And the thumbnail for it was pretty crappy. And I was like, this is going to be awful. And I watched it. I was like, this is actually really good. Don't judge anything by the thumbnail. AJ, I'm talking to you directly.
I will judge.
All right, let's get a little housekeeping out of the way. Make sure you, I don't know, what should you do on YouTube? Subscribe to me, subscribe to Dave, subscribe to AJ, subscribe to all of us. When I move my hand, Tornado's falling. She's like, what's going on? Also, join our Discord. The link is in the description. That is where we all hang out and have this conversation that you're about to hear pretty much 24/7. So if you don't catch it now, we'll probably do it again later. But that's kind of it for housekeeping, right?
Patreon.com/withoutparole.
Games. Oh,
If
man,
you want to
that
keep
is
this
hard
man
to get.
alive.
Yeah, we're doing our best here. Our best. All right, you guys. I think we should probably begin this show the way we begin every show with a little game of should we or shouldn't we. When we put 60 seconds up on the clock up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it. And it's our time, us, over here, to tell you, the little game cats, whether you should or should not be doing and or playing and or watching the things I've been doing and or watching and or playing. This never gets old. Who would like to go first?
I'll go second. I have to grab prop.
No.
I choose to go first.
You choosing to go
prop?
first?
Did he just say a prop?
He did. I thought we outlawed props on the show after your Carrot Top impersonation last time, but who knows? Oh, you just went and got a prop. This is so unfair. Here, I've also got a prop. It's a half pot of coffee.
Wow, you just drink it straight from that? I love you, man. I love you.
You know, I've never done that before, but that's a way more efficient way to do this.
That is something I would more likely do than I'd imagine you doing, but love it, man.
I mean, when a pizza shows up, you just eat it out of the box, right? There's no one else here.
Yeah, sure.
You're like, Brian, don't expose these truths live on the air.
No, I use a fork and a knife.
Right. Absolutely. All right. AJ, are you ready?
I am ready, Brian.
On your mark. Get Des. Go.
So I did my Saturday night live streams last Saturday. It was an absolute blast. Thank you to everyone who joined. Discovered some interesting things. 100-foot robot golf is actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Revisited Drone Striker by Winking, and that was pretty fun. But the main attraction was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, this game on this poster behind me. And I beat the meat grinder update, man. I beat the meat. It was like an hour and 20 minutes long to beat it in the cemetery. I had a nice little strategy, and yeah, it was just an absolute blast. I appreciate everybody who was hanging out with me while I was taking that thing on. I was exhausted by the end of it. But Saints and Sinners by Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is an absolute 120%. Should we?
7, 6, 5, 4,
And
3.
Yeah, that's all I got.
You're good. You're good. You're covered. All right. Let's see here. Let me do something real quick. Oh, Dave, you're back.
I'm ready for my close-up.
That's awesome. Well, call me Mr. DeVille, and on your mark, get set.
All right.
And I'm actually not ready. God damn it. Everything's breaking.
Okay.
On your mark,
Also,
get
you
set.
said get set. What is get set? I don't know. Get set.
I don't know. And go. Oh, crap.
Okay, so I actually didn't watch this week, but I'm gonna, and I recommend that anybody watch this anytime. Okay, what? Shh.
No, the timer started
this
super late. I didn't want anyone to know. I didn't want you to know.
Oh wait, do I have extra time?
Well, you're running out of it now. Yeah.
So if anybody can guess based on the cover, maybe you can. Anybody know this guy? You might know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's Princess Mononoke, incredible movie by Studio Ghibli. You guys know Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away, all this other stuff. But this is my favorite one, Princess Mononoke. It's really, it's probably the darkest of all his movies, and it's just really always his stuff is very well animated, very well voice acted and stuff. But it's just beautiful, and this is a cool little magnetic thing that I got from Japan. It's got the Blu-ray, and it's got this little like art stuff in here. It's kind of cool. But the reason that I know about this movie, how much time do I have left?
10
My
seconds.
biology teacher in middle school, elementary school, high school.
5 seconds.
Always played this movie. Anytime we had like a free day, she would just play this movie. I saw it like 5 times in her class. Anyways, that's it. It's great. Princess Mononoke, my friends. Princess Mononoke.
I love that you asked how much time you had left, and then when you realized you only had 10 seconds left, you
I
actually
just condensed the whole story into
you thought it was okay to start wondering which teacher it possibly could have been.
Oh, I know which teacher. It was my biology teacher. I had Bio 1, Bio 2, and AP Bio, all with the same person, and every year she would play this movie at least once.
That's awesome.
It does actually have to do with biology. It has to do with the environment, all this kind of stuff, but allegorically, I guess. But it's really fucking good. If you guys haven't seen it, you should watch it.
Excellent.
And that's my should be.
Excellent. Well, here, you know what, this is, I've really been doing absolutely nothing else, so this is, don't hate me for this. Go. You shouldn't get a cat. that's my shouldn't me. So for the first few days of having a cat, you know, she was fun, playful, and then like she went off and like just slept a whole lot. And then she started sleeping too much. I was like, oh man, I'm concerned. Like I think there's something like wrong with her. Maybe she's depressed.
Carlos can sleep all day long.
But
cats will sleep all day long if you let them.
But kittens are like, you know, kittens sleep a lot, more than regular cats, I think too. But then, like while she was awake, she didn't want to do anything. She didn't want to hang out with me. She didn't want to do anything. Like she was acting very depressed, if that's a thing. And she seemed to be missing her litter mates and maybe her old house. And then in the last few days, everything has changed. She has been so hyperactive, over the top. I mean, just running. Like my place isn't very big, and she runs from one end to the other, and like just jumps up over things and jumps on me and over. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But you know, I jokingly said you shouldn't get a cat. She's awesome. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. You should, if you can get a cat like Tornado, then you absolutely should. So I was
I've got news for you, Brian.
Wait, did that turn from a shouldn't we into a should we at the last second? I was talking to chat.
Yeah, it was a joke. Because like she's absolutely crazy, but like you know it's love, Dave. When somebody acts crazy and you go, it's okay because I love you.
It's unconditional.
It is. It is. I love this cat more than I've loved anything or anyone in my life. Sorry, Mom. I apologize.
Ooh.
No. I mean, like, they're neck and neck. Let's be fair. Like, they're neck and neck. They're both amazing.
And you've only known Tornado for, like, what, a couple months? First,
Well,
the beginning was a long-distance relationship.
Yeah.
You could only look at her in videos on YouTube.
yeah, in all fairness, it took me a few years to warm up to my mother as well. So, I mean, you know. No,
I think everybody can relate to that.
I hope she's watching. She's going to be like, what are all the jokes about me today? What's going on? Because everybody knows I love my mom. All right, guys. No more wasting time. I think we should probably talk about some PlayStation VR news. AJ, how many items do we have to talk about today?
We have 7 items
You
today.
could have just said any number. You didn't have to count. Nobody's keeping track of this. I promise you.
We have 7 items, a new game that released this week, some new announcements, a brand new game that probably most of you doesn't even know exists just yet, or is going to exist. And then we have the huge summer sale going on right now. And so we're going to go at the very end of the episode and break down all those different games. But first, we are going to start with, we usually start with PS5 news. Well, there wasn't really any PS5 news other than the icon is now on the website, but that's not really that much news. However, Xbox, today was the day of Xbox in their showcase. I caught a little part of it, and luckily I caught the part that actually was significant for us because
right.
They announced that Tetris Effect Connected Edition is going to be coming to Xbox later this year. Why am I talking about this? Because Brian, Dave, and GameCats, they're going to be adding multiplayer, and they said that this multiplayer update to Tetris Effect is also going to be coming to PS4 and Oculus Quest as well next summer.
So it's a timed exclusive. Xbox did a pretty good job here landing that one because I'm jealous already, although they don't have VR over there on Xbox, so fuck them. But this is a cool feature. I'm really excited. I've always liked multiplayer Tetris games before. There was one like on the Wii, I think, that you could play local co-op, and friends and I would always play that. It's more fun when you're up against somebody, I think. So I'm curious to see how they put that all together. The connected update makes sense because that song, that was the trailer song. We're all connected.
You want to do that? I think you should do the whole thing, man. That's so far. This is the highlight of the show. I'm yours forever.
This is a fantastic song, fantastic soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need it on Beat Saber. They also need to remix it and add some beats.
Yeah, that's one. I'm not that excited about the Beat Saber they made in Dreams, but if somebody makes that song in it, I'll play it.
Ooh,
Right on.
Absolutely play it.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think my major complaint about Tetris Effect when it came out was like, man, this. I feel like the best thing Tetris ever added. There has been so many iterations of it over the years, and they always like experimented with different things, like trying to kind of fuck with the Tetris formula when it didn't need to be fucked with. But the one thing that ever got added that always made the game better was certainly multiplayer. And the more players you could have competing against each other, the better. Even the one I have on Vita has at least a 4-player mode or is an 8-player mode. Maybe somebody can help me out on that. But I mean, just multiplayer Tetris is awesome, and I feel like if we can do that in VR, which it sounds like the whole game is playable in VR, so why shouldn't this as well? I mean, this game just bumped a little bit up, will definitely be higher up on the top 25 list.
Yeah, one thing that I think could be a cool potential thing that they do with this, they already have the weekend events where everybody around the world comes together to try to beat a score collectively.
Is that part of Tetris 99 or?
Tetris Effect.
Okay, you're talking about the ritual. The
ritual, the weekend thing where everybody comes together and you try to build up your score so you all get something.
Right now, over
the
me.
thing that would be cool is, I don't know if you guys know anything about Splatoon 2, but they had this thing where they would do, every now and then, they'd put people on teams and you'd pick like, I'm team this or team that. It's like mustard or ketchup or like some silly little thing that kids can pick things side on. It'd be cool if they separated people out into teams and you were actually collectively competing against each other as a team. So like every time you went into a multiplayer match, this is for your squad. Like you're trying to get yourself that weekly bonus or whatever it is. So it makes it competitive instead of actually just like everybody working together. Does that make sense? You get what I'm getting at there?
Yes, but I have a question though.
Yeah.
Do you think kind of too little too late that this is coming out by summer of 2021.
It better be coming out on PS5.
Tetris is evergreen. I mean, Tetris is great. No one will look at this in 2 years and be like, that's old. I want the new Tetris.
I agree with you, Dave, but the problem is that I don't think, I mean, when I hook up a new console, I very seldom go back to the old console. But I guess with backwards compatibility on PS4 games, this isn't going to be an issue.
Well, the other thing is there will inevitably be, if they're going to add multiplayer support in summer 2021 or whatever, there's going to be a PS5 version of this game, obviously.
You would hope so.
I would think so.
I mean, you think they would patch a PS4 game in summer 2021? I don't think so.
I think, well, they're going to. That's basically what they've said, is that the current editions will be updated.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, but
the best of both worlds, right?
Well.
Nice. Yeah, this is going to be epic. This is going to get me back into Tetris. It does suck though. I'm sure there's like some exclusivity deal with Xbox being like, no, this is the definitive version, and it has to be our version for 6 months or something.
Well, I do like that. For enhanced games, that's pretty big. Like to have their game so well received that Xbox wants to pay them money to add an exclusive mode just for Xbox first. So they obviously did really well with it, and people think it's worth it to pay for exclusivity, which is great. Contrary
to a lot of speculation before it came out, this game was actually a system seller for PSVR. This game actually pushed headsets and sold a bunch of headsets to people, and I think rightfully so. It's a game that took me a minute because I've never been the biggest Tetris guy, but this is a game that I find myself going back to constantly, and it is one of the most relaxing and like meditative games that is just, it's like a breath of fresh air every time I play it. I just beat Expert Journey mode like a month ago maybe, and it's been out for 2 years, so it's like you said, it's got some legs.
Damn, time really flies, huh? Jeez. 2
years.
Absolutely. Oof. That's craziness. Yeah. Well,
I bet they sold a bunch on Quest too, because I mean, the first time I ever played Tetris was on a Game Boy, and Quest is like the Game Boy of our VR marketplace. Really, just pop it on anywhere. So I'm sure a bunch of people bought it to play, mobile on the go, wherever you want, because that's what Tetris is made for, really.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is nothing but great news. I don't want to stick. AJ, did you have anything else to say about Tetris?
Nope.
Well, before we move off on this topic, Dave, did you watch the Xbox event today?
I didn't. No.
And AJ, did you watch a good chunk of it?
Watched like half of it. I'm
interested to hear what the cats think about what they showed today. I know we're so invested in PlayStation 5 and the future of PSVR, but like I was watching, I was just like, where's the thing that's going to blow me away? And I guess the Fable reveal at the end was cool, but like it didn't really show anything.
Care about Fable? Do people still care about Fable?
I think there's
surprisingly, yes,
for sure. But then it didn't show anything, and I was like, oh, that could have been the thing that kind of blew this out of the water. It was very it wasn't a whole lot there. So I don't know. I wonder how biased I am, like when I watch PlayStation 5 things and just go, I'm really excited for this no matter what, and then I watch Xbox events and go, you better fucking have something to blow me away with, and I'm like, that's not the attitude to go in with. So I'm wondering how like less biased people like actually saw this event, just to see what. Yeah.
If you join our Discord, which everybody should out there, links down below in the description, we were talking about the event a lot. So yeah, overall, I mean, that's basically same page as everyone else. Like, there was a couple really good announcements that some people liked. I know Kyle's a big fan, but overall, I don't think he said anything about like it blowing him away or anything.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Should we move on?
Let's move on because Perp Games has announced another physical edition coming out, and this is the Servios VR Power Pack with 2 award-winning games in Raw Data and Sprint Vector. I think I can't do that like you.
What is the price for these 2 games bundled together?
I don't think they announced the price. I could be wrong.
Announced the price. Okay.
And
are they're doing a thing where it's like 2 separate game discs, 2 separate game boxes in a little thingy, right? Or is it
one
all
box?
It's
one
all
box. Yeah.
One box. I wonder if it's one disc as well, or if it's gonna have like one of those like little Blu-ray flaps inside of it. I gotta check the site.
They've released like End Dreams, I think, released some kind of collection that was similar, where it was all on one disc. So I'm wondering if that's what they'll do with this one too.
I forgot about that. There's actually 2 of those in the Perp collection, End Dreams and the Zen collection, I think.
Oh yeah, Zen Studios, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So this is raw data in Sprint Vector for man. Do either of you have the Perp site up right now?
Yes.
And there's no price yet. I didn't know if it was available for pre-order yet.
No price. Just says it will be available in retail and EU territories September 11th, 2020.
Okay.
That's a cool cover, man. They made these games look pretty badass. Like the raw data pose, the guy's got his light sword, and then Sprint Vector keeps running at you.
These are both really good games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're great. I feel like some people will look at the back and be like, "Oh, Sprint Vector's got multiplayer, awesome," and they'll hop in. They'll be like, "Oh, wait a second, nobody's playing."
Man, and then they'll go, "I should really join that without Parole Discord community."
Yeah, so we can have a game day.
Yeah, absolutely. That game is so much fun. Let's take guesses. How much should this thing go for?
I was gonna say 30 or 40.
It's weird, right? Because raw data is still, for some reason, $40 on the store. That really needs to go down in price. And Sprint Vector, I think, was $30. Both of these games are excellent, but I don't think they're a $30 and $40 game by any means. No
it's
offense.
Certainly not worth $70 together. That's for sure.
Not a $70 package here. I would hope, honestly, and it may sound like it's asking too much, but I would hope for this to be like $30 itself.
I feel like it's going to be like 40 minimum.
I think it's going to be 40, absolutely.
40 makes more sense.
Yeah, they don't sell these games that cheap that often. Sprint Vector goes on sale more often than raw data, I think, but I don't know. They're still, what, $40, $30 for Sprint Vector?
Yeah, 30 for Sprint Vector. I believe the price is maintained. I believe. I'd have to check the PlayStation store. But that is, I mean, they technically could sell this for 50 and say you're getting a deal because not only are you getting it 50 for less, significantly less, but you're also getting a physical version with all the updates and everything, which for collectors is always a big deal. It's just, I don't know. I hope they don't overcharge for this.
Ryan is saying Sprint Vector is a digital code in the box.
Well,
that would be unfortunate.
Yeah,
that would be really unfortunate.
If that's the case, then like that's a rough move to make.
It's like getting a digital code and then like a manual for a game.
Well, they don't even make manuals anymore, so there's no manual in this thing. I guarantee you.
Right.
You can remember
it was like an analogy.
Yeah. I just miss manuals also. So.
I did too.
You could go to the store, like you could actually go to Walmart, pick up, go and buy a box Vita, like a Vita case. It says Minecraft on it. Looks like an official game. You go to the store, you buy that, you bring it home, you open it up, and there's nothing in it except a digital code. I was like, what? How did we get to this point? Like our physical collectors, like we just need a box on the shelf that says we own this thing. But people are going to Walmart a lot of the times because they don't have a good internet connection or something like that, and so because they'd rather have the physical version, and so selling a physical version that has a digital version inside of it just baffles me completely.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, very wasteful, very backwards, and like, why would you spend money on it?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I just wait for a sale and buy it digital on the store?
Well, now that we know that, thank you for letting us know, Grad. But yeah, now that I know that, that's an absolute shouldn't we. This game goes on sale for like
that sucks.
These games go on sale for like $10 to $12 now, and I would just get those digital. They're fantastic games once again, but
yeah, and I love Perp games, man. Like that, and I hate to say don't get this from Perp, right? And so instead, go get the Headmaster.
Do they still have the edition with a little soccer ball? I wanted to get one just for that little soccer ball. Speaking of which, of special editions, this is wild, guys. I have not had to use Tree Guy once. I'm just reminding you guys out there that I have not had to use Tree Guy one time in this past 25 minutes, which is weird. You guys must all be.
Dude, they're all in dreams, man. They're all in dreams.
Yeah,
they're gonna watch this later. Don't you worry about that, man. We're gonna be here, and we'll be here later for you, even if you're not here right now. We don't care. We're gonna do this even if no one showed up. Let's be honest.
Yeah. We can't stop talking. We can't.
So see now you've got me guessing here. I want to see the Headmaster thing. I'm on the store already. Let's see if the Headmaster. So $28.99. That's pounds.
Yeah, is it still in stock? Because they said they were only going to make like 100 of them with the
100 of them and only sell 75 of them on the store.
What are they going to do?
It's still. They're probably giving them away for like to awesome YouTubers and stuff. Yeah. I don't know.
Did they ever send you that perp box?
Yeah, it's right. It's right up there.
Yeah, they told me they were going to send me one. Several
Jamie,
times.
I think they sent me your other one because they said they sent one to my PO box and it never made it, so I actually had to end up giving them my physical home address. So I think there's one lost out there that was trying to get to me from Perp.
Oh, great.
And so they're probably like, you know what, that Dave guy, we're just going to give you Dave's box.
Pretty much. I mean, actually, after that, the dude was like, this is inside baseball. I'm not going to go too into it, but he was like, oh, sorry about that. We ran out. I know we told you we'd get you one. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. But he said, oh, but I'll get you a physical of whatever game you want. I'll send it to you. And I was like, oh, when Sirento comes out, I'd love to have a physical of that. I have never heard from them again.
They sent it to me.
They sent you one?
They did send one to AJ.
I got it through.
They
So,
lied.
all this is proving.
I love you, Perp Games, despite what Dave says.
All this is proving is that AJ and I are on the Perp Games payroll. I'm so sorry to finally tell you this. No.
Dave, look what you've done. There are a bunch of donations now.
Oh, shit. Good. Hold on. Let me get Tree Guy here. Wow, they're coming in fast.
Don't even have Tree Guy ready.
He's here.
I'll take the first one. This is Jay Meow with the 99-cent donation. Thank you so much, Jay.
We love you, dude. No comment, huh?
I played perfect. This last Saturday.
Okay, well, why wasn't that your should we or shouldn't we? I would have loved to hear you rant about perfect for 60 seconds.
We need to get Rypop because he played it for an hour and a half, I think. He was part of a dare. They've been one-upping each other out there.
I'm sorry,
forcing each other to play bad games.
With Dreams, perfect is like you can make something better.
Oh, I've seen 10 things better than perfect in Dreams.
Yeah. Dude, everything I've played in Dreams has been better than perfect.
All right, this is $2 from Troy Powell, who says, Tree Guy. That's Tree Guy. Beer to Power 666 with a 2 as well. Says, miss you, Tree Guy.
Oh.
Loving Dreams. Then we got Professor Lilith. Sorry, I didn't mean that, Lilith. But she didn't say anything. Thanks for the tip, though. $2. And finally, Cram Swanson. Oh, my God. Okay, somebody else start taking these. I'm running out of steam.
That's Cram Swanson with a $5 donation that says bleep bloop.
Bleep bloop.
That works for me. Thank you.
Who's
AJ?
that?
That would be Johnny Rypop, the Stray Cat, with the Canadian 279 donation. Says, someone make me a boxing game in Dreams. Somebody make Rypop a boxing game in Dreams, please.
Dude.
He's too busy making Squishy's Apocalypse Rider something.
Jay Meow says, even when I donate, y'all shit on perfect.
Excellent, of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we? It's terrible. I hate it.
That's right.
I didn't shit on it. I was very kind.
I got this one. Acefield. Wow. He's fucking
He
talking
goes on
today.
as long as he wants.
Acefield the Attack Cat with the $4.99 donation says 5:30 p.m. Loads up Dreams, powers through tutorials, plays Tectonic. Awesome. Turns off headset, watches this week's show. Yes. That sounds like
the jam.
Sounds like a pretty awesome combination of things to do in one day, if you ask me.
Yeah, excellent.
All right, so moving on, guys. So we got this comes via an article from Road to VR. What is up, guys, over there? They basically published an article that says, oh my God.
Did you see what Brian just did?
I caught the tail end of it.
Oh my God.
It says, following success on Quest, VR Classic Racket NX to get major update, likely headed to PlayStation VR. And essentially what's going on here is that they apparently killed it on the Quest. Racket NX, from the little I've seen, I've heard it's very good from like Just Incredible and a couple people that I usually agree with their opinion.
Just kidding. We love you, Justin.
But they said included in the studio's announcements is a tease about the game coming to a new platform. Quote, developed a Racket NX port for another VR platform, including an extensive language localization system, not out just yet. And they go on to say that PSVR is the only major VR platform that the game currently isn't available on. So it's like, which one could it be?
Yeah, this one has really good feedback on Quest, at least from, like you said, Justin said something good about it. Pretty much anybody I know who's played it likes it. I didn't end up buying it because I've played a bunch of Racket games, and there were a bunch of Quest games coming out around that time. And it's just kind of a steep price for me. And I don't get Quest games for free. So, but yeah, I think it's like $20, $20, $30. 20 sounds right to me. But it's not just straight up racquetball. There's like some gaminess to it. There's some challenge. There's some score hunting going on, I think. So,
I'm watching this trailer for the very first time, and I apologize. This is like all those games we kind of got a lot of at the beginning of the PlayStation VR life cycle, right? Like Proton Pulse, where it's just like it's like virtual breakout or virtual Arkanoid, right?
Dude, I forgot about Proton Pulse. That's wild because that was one of the first ones I ever played on my developer kit, my Oculus developer kit.
Oh, right on.
They had Proton Pulse back then, and it's the same game it was back then.
And those are decent. I mean, there were certainly some good ones, but this one just looks super polished and stuff. I'm assuming it's way better, and of course with multiplayer, this sounds like something I'd get into. But watching this trailer, I'm like, sometimes trailers just don't give me what I need, and this does. And once I get my hands on it, though, it'll be different.
I'm glad, having heard feedback, like me and AJ both, everybody we know who's played it is into it. So that's what works for me. I don't need a trailer if I trust people and they say it's fun.
Yeah, I trust people more than I trust trailers these days. So
absolutely. All right, we got a big tip here for Joe Grover, the effing GameCat. Actually, from Joe Grover, the effing GameCat. $50.
Whoa.
Yeah, busting out the wallet as always. Thank you, Joe. He says, "Here I am, sitting here all quiet and shit, with nothing particularly important to say." Well, Joe, you know what? I saw you with that $50 tip, and I'm gonna take one out of your shot glass that you got me. Cheers.
I don't ever have anything important.
That's for you, Joe. And then we got Mark Pringles. He says, "You three are legends," with the two puros, younds,
pounds,
Euro pounds. I don't know what it is.
It's pounds.
Which one looks like an S and which one looks like an E? I don't know.
Okay, we'll have a class. We'll have a class after the show's over. I will teach you which one's which.
I'm gonna sit with flashcards and memorize these before.
There's only 2 flashcards. You could do it on a notebook with 2 pieces of paper. Just flip it over.
I can one piece of paper, just flip it back and forth. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it, Joe. That's fucking ridiculously generous. So thank you guys for supporting the show. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody. Let's move on.
Very, very generous. You really opened Pandora's box there, Dave. All right. So a new game announcement. By the way, before we get on to the next game, I do want to say I used to play a little bit of racquetball, not much.
It's fun. I like racquetball.
But racquetball is a silly kind of, well, it could seem like a silly concept, but it was very physical, great fitness. I could see this being another one of those great games for like fitness. And the part in the trailer that in particular that I really liked was when like it showed like hitting the combos, and it was like a bunch of the hit spots like connecting. And I like that. And it was like really fast gameplay. That is what I'll be looking forward to the most. Yeah. Rather than just some like Pong, just kind of hit it back and forth. I like the idea of trying to build this bridge of combos.
We actually don't have a thing exactly like that. We have like the good ping pong games, Racket Fury, obviously, which is going to get lost in the mix. Racket NX and Racket Fury, people are going to think it's the same franchise and stuff. They're going to get confused, I think. But
what happened to 1111? Remember 1111? There was tons of trailers for it. It was supposed to be coming to PSVR. Just fucking disappeared.
It's still popular on other platforms. I think it's on Quest. So if it's on Quest, it could come here. But
maybe they were like, man, Racket Fury fucking killed it. We don't have to release our game. There's no way we can compete with perfection.
Yeah, but we don't have one that's like actual swinging and hitting stuff that is that sort of like not just playing ping pong. There's Hollow Ball, but it's not really the same thing.
Hollow Ball, right.
I did like Hollow Ball.
That was the other one I was trying to think of.
That cyberpunk kind of aesthetic. That's really cool.
I'll be starting one of these Saturday Night Live streams with Hollow Ball at some point. Last week I started with Drone Striker. I had to get Drone Strike out of the way, which was a lot of fun. It's like a great arcade.
I like Drone Striker.
Aim shooter,
Especially for the price, man. Was it like $6 or something? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like $6, $7, $8, something like that.
It's one of those cheapo, but kind of feels like Time Crisis, like pretty good.
Right.
Did you play the Time Crisis in Dreams yet? Bionic, whatever it is.
Yes. That's from our dude S. Doric, who made Tectonic. And I have a funny one to tell you about though, because you were telling me about that and you were like, Time Crisis. Wait until you play in Dreams Slime Crisis.
Oh, I cannot wait to play Slime Crisis. That's the first thing I'm playing tonight.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten the VR update yet. I'm still waiting for it. But that's I've got a whole list of games I'm waiting on, and Slime Crisis is one of them. At least maybe you should check out the flat version because, yes, it is exactly what it sounds like.
So I think I got us off track here, and Brian's not even there anymore.
I'm here. Don't worry. I'm here.
What was the name of this game, AJ, that we're going to talk about?
Okay, so comrades, Listen up, because says this game is described as and they basically, I received a press release this morning from my PR. Thank you so much, Diana. And it says the headline: "Playing as a Slavic Tarzan in space is something you didn't know you needed." And this is referring to this game called Grad.
I mean, that's an elevator pitch that I would take. I would bite on that. If I was a developer or a publisher or something, and somebody says, "You're Slavic Tarzan in space," I'm like, you don't have to say anything else. I am absolutely on board. This is from the same people who made... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the good thing is that once you see the gameplay and like the cel-shaded look and you hear more about the details, it does look like something that you would actually be interested in.
Yeah,
or want to know more.
So they made a game that we've played previously called Never Out that was from like a Gear VR or something like that. It was like mobile roots, right. Very, very low. I don't know. It was early VR, not that great. But this one looks like a legitimate game. They're working with real hardware now, actual 6 Degrees of Freedom headsets with tracked controllers and stuff, which they didn't before. And it looks like they really upped their game. The art style is awesome right off the bat. It reminds me a lot of this game Void Bastards. People have been telling me to play on flat screen. But it's just the style just pops. Like as soon as you see it, you're like, that looks cool. The grappling hook stuff, it's like the Tarzan swinging, also looks pretty fun. I'm curious to hear more about this because it just popped out of nowhere, but I'm on board. This looks good.
Well, Dave, let me tell you more about it.
Yes, please.
It has minimal risk of motion sickness thanks to innovative design.
Boo.
Okay.
Boo. I hate minimal risk of motion sickness.
Innovative. We put a little circle.
I want maximum risk of motion sickness in the next bullet point.
That's true.
That's true. Where's my options? I want options.
Okay, I'm getting there. Okay. Oh my God, you're still treating that. Okay, it says over 50 tight-packed levels to explore and conquer. Brian, this might have your interest. Indiana Jones, like navigation via grappling hooks and boosters.
Wait, I thought it was Tarzan. You're throwing everything in the blender here. They're like, well, it's Tarzan, but you're actually doing the Indiana Jones thing when you're swinging. You're not actually. You're Tarzan because you go, ah!
You're using suction cups for like guns or gun hands. Like, what does this have to do with either one?
Remember, this is like the Do Not Open press release where they just reference every single horror author and director ever on the face of the planet, saying we'll get somebody to pay attention to us if we just reference everything that's awesome. But hey, Indiana Jones, man, Indiana Jones, Tarzan, fucking shit. Wait, Game Dust. What else did Game? Oh, they did the thing Never Out. Just what Dave was talking about. Right. Sorry, I was totally paying attention during that. I swear.
So lots of crazy platforming stunts. That to me personally, that speaks my language right there. I love platformers. Riddles and spatial puzzles, quote, diesel punk in space atmosphere. Slavic humor and peculiar story.
Slavic humor, I love
for
Slavic
all those
humor.
into Slavic humor.
Can someone in the chat describe Slavic humor to me? Because I'm actually not familiar. I assume it's very dry and maybe vodka influenced. I'm not sure entirely.
So
somebody in the chat explain.
So it does say like ready comrade, and it says, so kiss your babushka goodbye and become a space traveling Indiana Jones.
Oh, I think I know what Slavic humor is. It's that guy who's like, in Russia, you don't sit on this is the da-da-do. He flips it. Yeah.
That's the only joke they have there. That's the only joke they have in Russia.
In Soviet
Russia.
Swing on you.
Yeah, for sure.
I do like how the article says starts with Tarzan, but then everything else in the article is all Indiana Jones. It's interesting.
Yeah, maybe
they pivoted.
PR team maybe one guy on the PR team really likes Indiana Jones and the other guy really likes Tarzan, and they haven't had a meeting about it or anything. They're just sending out separate.
Right, they're all working from home.
But
anyways, like no one's we're on this at all. Dude,
we've got some interesting ideas on what Slavic humor is in the chat. Hack says Slavic humor is equivalent to depression in America. Beard of Power says the movie Hostel is Slavic comedy. Troy Powell says, my friend is obsessed with Slavic humor. I didn't know people were.
No.
I
thought it was a joke.
Understand it, but now I, for some reason, find it funny. Okay.
This looks like, I mean, this looks like Windlands went all like kind of sci-fi. I do like the diesel punk reference. This is, what this first reminded me of, I think, because not only because of the grappling hooks and stuff, but also because of the cell shading. It was that visual light game that we're still waiting to hear more about, Wolves and Pigs, or Wolves and Pigs Out for Vengeance.
Oh, people in chat were talking about that too. I've heard it's not actually very good.
Well, I mean, they made Throw Anything, so it's like we had our expectations on the low side for sure. But yeah, this looks like it could probably deliver on what they couldn't then. This looks pretty cool.
So they say that the soundtrack is also done by acclaimed video game music composer Piotr Surmax. And I looked up his SoundCloud, and all I see is Poop Die OST.
Well, does Poop ever really die? Was it alive in the first place?
I have no idea, but I did listen to a little bit. It sounds pretty good, so it's probably not bad.
I'm scared to search for Poop Die in Google. I'm like, I just know that it's going to bring up stuff I don't want to.
You're supposed to search for it in Pornhub, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's generally my Google search bar. It's just, it has the Pornhub little app right there.
One more.
Okay.
Free guy.
Excellent.
That was a really quick one. Somebody want to read that off?
Yeah, I got it. That's we didn't miss any? I feel like we missed. We go all the way back to. Did we get the kid?
Oh wait,
we're like 3 behind, guys. So,
shit.
So the first one is the kid with the $5 donation says, "Love you guys. Almost died last week. PSVR and y'all definitely helped me through these times. Thank you for what you do." I don't know how you almost died, but
but we're glad you're safe though.
We are glad you were with us.
Keep on living, man. Keep on living. You would have missed Dreams. That would have sucked. Dying right before Dreams.
Yeah,
don't do that.
There's always something to look forward to. I got to say, a shout out to the podcast Beyond, the original crew, because when I through my darkest days, and I'm not insinuating that you have depression or anything like that, but it sounds like you're going through some shit. Podcast Beyond was actually the thing that, like, when everything else was dark, the light that I looked forward to every week was, I think it was like every Tuesday. I was like, when everything else sucks, I can at least look forward to Tuesday and listen to the podcast Beyond every week. And that was always my mission for Without Parole. I was like, if I reach one person, like Beyond reached me, then fucking I feel like I've succeeded.
Yeah, I mean, if people somehow get some sort of emotional, healing out of listening to us just shoot the shit for 3 hours, that's incredible. I mean, I'm honored and amazed and surprised. But I can see what you're saying, like where you're coming from there. So.
Hit that again. We got 2 more to go.
Oh yeah.
That's from Troy Powell with a $5 donation. Says, "Haven't been in Dreams yet. Anyone try out any of the PTs?"
I think we all did. Yeah.
So PT, I'll tackle this first. It looks amazing in VR. Like, it really delivers. And that was obviously the second Lewis jumped into my stream, the creator of PT, and said, "Hey, I just flipped the switch. It's good to go." And I checked it out. I was like, this is everything I wanted it to be. It looks, in my book, just as good in the headset as it does. Which, of course, we're going to go into this further in the Dreams discussion. But it's currently, I don't know if he's updated it since, but there's some control problems that need to be worked out because like R3 wasn't working, so you can't actually get through the whole thing.
Yeah, I got to a point where I was stuck at a door, and people were like, "Oh, I heard that this isn't working yet," and so I had to kill it. But the atmosphere, like you're saying, is spot on. Like, it looks and sounds and feels really good. But as of right now, you just have like one hallway and you can't really get to the next door. So I'm sure he'll update it. Obviously, you said you talked to him and he's aware of it. So one thing you can do actually is subscribe to a creator on Dreams, like follow them, and then you can check in on them to see what got updated recently. And there's actually a filter when you're looking for new Dreams to play that is stuff you've played before that has been updated since the last time you played it.
I love
and
that.
You can just scroll through everything that's got a new patch. So that's really useful in keeping up with developers as they make things more VR friendly, which is going to be happening a lot.
I played through the original PT demo like 1,000 times, and
like
it was the scary, one of the scariest thing that I've ever played in my life. It was the spectacle that everybody was like obsessed with. I actually still have a copy of it on my hard drive that's like stored away in a safe. I don't know why.
On eBay for like.
Well, you can't really play it if it gets updated, but you could play it offline, I suppose, possibly. But Yeah, this recreation of it was pretty amazing. And Dave, was it scary at all for you? You said the atmosphere was good. Like,
Well, the atmosphere was good, but it was just that first hallway, so I didn't get to the really scary stuff. Because, like,
Okay.
right at the beginning, it's not hitting you over the head with how spooky it is. It's sort of like eases you into it.
right, it is kind of the build up to it that just things start getting worse and worse. But yeah, unfortunately, you needed the R3 to be able to zoom in. Part of the getting progression system in that was being able to zoom in. So once he adds that, I'm going completely back into it and seeing how far I can get. I've gotten pretty far in it flat, but I stopped before I tried to finish it to see like how much. I remember everything about that demo, like where all the pieces are, and the timing of certain things, the way you activate different things, and so I wanted to test to see how complete and like how close it is to the original. But
Real quick follow-up question to that one. Did you guys play the Silent Hills game where somebody extrapolated like what it could have been like? I haven't played that one yet. Is it good? Is it worth checking out?
Very narrative heavy. Like, I mean, when I say narrative heavy, like you sit and just watch a lot of it for a long period of time before you have control. It's a third-person adventure game, basically, but there is just a lot of dialogue, and you just sit back and watch a ton of cutscenes. And the voiceovers. I think the writing's okay, but the voiceovers are like, they're a little stilted.
That's pretty common. I mean, a lot of people are doing their own voiceovers. Speaking of which, if you guys out there are looking for people to do voice acting on Dreams, I've already told a couple people this, but I'm down. If you guys want me to help out, I would love to. I'm not going to create anything, but I'd love to be part of something. And I know, Brian, you've already done voiceover work for Reggie and stuff, so I don't know, it'd be fun to get involved.
I'm wondering
after. You use my voice if you want. I got voice too.
I can use my voice.
I've been wondering. I think it would be more beneficial to me. Because I've been talking about making a horror game, but then seeing some of the stuff that's been made, and I know we're getting way off topic, and I want to save some of this for the actual Dreams talk. But if anybody out there is like creative and knows the Dreams tools and wants to collaborate with me, like we can kind of like shoot some ideas back and forth, and like I'll do voiceovers or whatever, and like if you can kind of like help me or like make the game that I'm envisioning, maybe we can do it that way, because I just feel like it's going to take forever to learn these tools.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, I'm going to hit Joe real quick, and then I'll tell you the thing I was about to tell you.
Ow! Fuck you!
That's Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat, once again with $10. He says, respect for what you guys do. I'd be like, remember that game? Oh man, what's the name? Well, maybe later. Next, we're going to talk about. I'll get back to you on that.
Joe, this is the only thing I know, Joe. This is it. I don't know anything else.
It is a side effect. It is a side effect of having a 25+ year video game addiction.
Well, the other thing too is this is all on track only because AJ writes us up basically like a itinerary or something before, I don't know what you'd call it, the run of show. He collects everything, puts it into a nice format. Otherwise, we would be bouncing off on tangents all day. So we still do, but
we do for sure.
Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Wait, real quick before we move on, I just want to get this out of the way. We can talk about PT real quick, and I just want to say two things. One, the best compliment I can give this is that I was actually kind of bored when I was playing it, because I was like, this is identical to, as AJ said, the thing I've played 1,000 times. So it's almost just like playing the same thing over again. And I hope that comes across as a compliment, because it's so like spot on, almost perfect. I was like, man, this is so incredible that I feel like I've played this 1,000 times before. The other thing is if you do run into that, obviously you're going to run into R3 bug if you play it in VR. Take off the headset; it'll switch over to non-VR, and then you can dive in and use and do everything the way it needs to be done. So you can kind of like take off the headset when need be to make it through this game.
So do like a Kowloon's Gate situation.
Do a Kowloon's
Every
Gate
door
situation.
is a Kowloon's Gate.
But is there any shrimp?
Right, or do a home sweet home situation where the game actually breaks in VR mode and you have to take off the headset to get to certain parts of it.
So I'm excited actually because I never played the original one. I didn't have the demo.
That's kind of why I asked you a little bit.
Yeah. So I can't wait until this is fully playable in VR without any hack, like take your headset off and put it back on and all that stuff. Just like straight through playable. And I'm sure it will be soon. So I can actually experience it myself for the first time ever in VR. Now, do you guys feel a little jealous that you didn't get to experience it for the first time in VR and I get to?
No.
No, because it was, dude.
No.
When PT first came out, it was the most incredible thing I had seen in probably a decade. The internet was exploding with speculation, and people were trying to help each other out. And because no one knew it was a demo for Silent Hills, it was just Konami dropped this on the store and was like, "It'll scare the fucking shit out of you." And we're like, "It's scaring the fucking shit out of us." And like everyone's on message boards going, "Have you tried this? Do this, blah blah blah." And I was like, and like it was just a fucking fever of awesomeness, and everyone was so excited about it that like. I'm so glad I didn't miss out on that time because it's one of the last times that ever happened in my life.
I wasn't as tapped in, honestly, to the community and like people's reaction to stuff. Obviously, doing the channel got me way more into the discourse around video games. Got a couple more here. Robbie B, the English Game Cat. AJ, you want to take this one?
He says, well, first of all, he's got the 2 donations. Thank you so much, my dude.
And
says,
Two what? What is it, AJ? 2 what? Come on, man. What is it? Come on, show Dave what's up.
That is a pound.
Yes,
that
it
is a pound.
In for a penny? In for a pound.
A pound is upper capital E. A euro is lowercase e. That's how I remember. And he says, play my early horror experience, Rob_B_1985.
Right.
What's your...
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just look you up by name then.
That's how he's listed, Rob B 1985. He
I'll do that
tried to
tonight
send
for
that
sure.
to me. He tried to send that to me when I was streaming last night, but I didn't realize that you have to go into creator mode to see people's like in progress stuff that they send you. And I wasn't going to switch over in the middle of the stream.
Yeah.
I've got that noted though.
Okay,
Same.
so
All right.
2 more. Jesus, whoa.
And then we've got... Oh,
That's
shit.
$10 from Wonder Rob. I know the $sign. That makes fucking sense to me. I understand that shit. I learned that in grade school. Thank you so much, Wonder Rob. No comment, but we love you. Actually, he wrote after that. Well, Brian, mission accomplished because you reached one depressed person. Oh, I don't know if I should read this out loud. He posted it in the comments, so I'm going to read it out loud. You reached one depressed person. I look forward to the show and community. Can you make the cloud guy go, fuck you, this is my tree?
Let go of me!
Nope,
That's
not
not
yet.
You're squeezing my body! No!
Hold
That's
on.
not it.
No! This is not fair!
Mm-mm.
He's got a lot of different ones.
You can't squeeze me anymore! No! Fuck you!
Damn, we're so
Listen
close.
to how many of these there are.
Get out of here! This is hard! Fuck you! Get out of my home!
That's
Close.
the
We're getting close.
Oh, we got to stop there. Well, hopefully we'll hear it. But Wonder Rob, you got about 10 times more Tree Guy quotes than anyone else does.
I just spilled on Tree
So
Guy.
can we dedicate one of those Tree Guys to you got cold yogurt with the $2 donations? Says, please tell me you tried Ride at Altopolis.
Oh,
Please
yes,
tell me you
yes.
watched my top 5 video that went up
Please
this morning.
tell me you watched my top 10 video that
Or
went up
my
last
stream.
night.
I'm pretty
Or
sure you were
any of
in
our
my
streams.
stream. You got cold yogurt.
It's incredible. That is one of the best. We will talk about all the best streams when we get to it.
I do want to give a shout out to AJ. I feel like AJ, every time I thought that I'd found the coolest streams, every time I talked to AJ, he's like, no, you got to try this. You got to try this. You got to try this. And he was always showing me ones that I was like, oh, these are cooler than the ones I found. So shout out to AJ. You're the one that told me about Altopolis.
What I like is that between our lists, there's like so much overlap, honestly. It's kind of insane. Like we did all come to a consensus on these are really the best goddamn games. And I think the community has too.
Day one.
Day one, exactly.
Day one, yeah.
I think from this point on, it's going to be wildly different.
Well, the crazy thing was by the time I finished editing and uploading the video and I went to stream it, there were already like fucking 20 new games that I hadn't seen before that people flipped over. And I'm sure today when I go back, like I checked out Resident Evil, I checked out a few other ones I'll talk about here that weren't on our lists because they weren't out yet.
Yeah.
But
there's so many I can't wait to talk about.
Like,
I woke up
the
at
next
4
week is gonna be
a.m.
crazy.
I woke up at 4 a.m. to see if I could get any last minute additions into the top 5 list that I was working on. And because I was like, okay, I'm gonna anything up until 8 a.m. is totally fair game for the first 24 hours, top 5 of the first 24 hours. And man, it's like, and then, it's so much cool stuff, man. I can't wait to dive back in tonight. Cannot wait. All right. Yeah, by the way, Meow Meow the Gamer Cat says, yes, AJ is awesome. Just wanted to say that. I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Well, thank you, guys. You guys are awesome, man.
Now there's 2 of us.
I'm a little fish in a big pond, man. It's a big pond. There's a lot of us. A lot of little fish. Together, our fish powers will combine.
Are we
can
Swedish
take
fish?
We can take on the bass or the catfish that's huge and causing a problem in our lake.
Boy, that analogy went to hell real fast, didn't it? The fuck
All right,
just
so
happened?
Honor and Duty D-Day Edition has finally gotten crossplay today. Congratulations to Strange Game Studios. It is now playable with PC and PSVR cross-play. And they did say they had a couple hiccups at launch. Oh, no, there was like a server or internet outage or something. But then it quickly got out of the way, and they had a great rest of the launch. And, yeah, congrats to you guys over there with your cross-play. Good to hear. Honor and Duty's great.
Did you just seriously finish the news story before I even got the video playing? Oh.
Well,
Tornado fell asleep on my phone. I was like,
you know,
sending
we've
payments
talked
to
about
people.
Honor and Duty a lot. There's not any significant. I don't think there's like any huge content updates. I know they've added like the castle levels and stuff. This game, for anyone who doesn't know, this is Strange Games and Honor and Duty. The first one created like the first 5v5 multiplayer game for PSVR, so it was a big deal for us when it came out. And this, of course, is the second one, Honor and Duty D-Day, and it has 32-person multiplayer. And when we had it all up and running with that many people, it was bonkers.
So
but yeah, that it works a lot like either team deathmatch or there's like a capture the flag, not capture the flag, but like domination, kind of like control.
Battle Royale too.
There's a battle royale mode as well.
So this is going to be cool to have people on Steam get it, because I don't think they have games that are maybe more like polished or refined, like graphically than this. By the way, Reggie's in the chat. What's up, Reggie? Like bigger budget games, bigger teams and stuff, because obviously this is a great game, but Reggie's like one guy working with a few other people, so it's a small team. But I think this is going to be something unique in the PC landscape that they don't exactly have already. So hopefully people will pick up on it and get in, so we get big lobbies again. Because it's been a minute since you could just pop in and just find on any random night.
Yeah.
Lobbies going. That should be good for the game overall, I think. We got some tips to take care of real quick. Two of them.
Yeah, actually, Reggie's in the chat. Yeah, he did say, he said the next big update will be the planes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So that's something we've been looking forward to a long time. I know the single player update had that bombing mission. But yeah, there will be planes in this eventually, I guess.
I don't know. Assume that this has some overlap with the development of RC airplane stunt thing, whatever he's working on. That other game that he's going to release.
RC Airplane Challenge.
RC Airplane Challenge, because airplanes coming to Honor and Duty right around the same time he's releasing an airplane game. Somebody figured out some airplane mechanics there in the meantime. Okay, real quick tips.
Treeland!
First one is K Panic, the Game Cat Dreamer. I like this name now. $4.99. He says, "Sing with me just for today. Maybe tomorrow the PS5 will take you away." Oh, I should be.
Dream on.
No, I should be
Dream
singing.
on.
Sing with me.
Dream on.
How does it go? Sing with me just for today. Maybe tomorrow the PS5 will take you away.
Wow.
Not bad. You got some pipes there. You've got some pipes on you.
Sorry, everyone, for that. I hope you never have to hear that again. Steve Tyler, Game Cat. Thank you. We got one from Steve Guyver as well. Thank you to your brother Mac, as always, or your uncle Mac, or your
Cousin Mac. Yeah.
I forgot our own lore already.
That's a lot to keep up with.
And he sends us a pizza emoji, a rat emoji, with money and a fist bump. I will try to interpret that at some point. But, we got it.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how to fucking determine that one. It's like Pizza Rat?
Take this one, Brian.
Master Splinter?
We got to get jiggly on this one.
All right.
You guys ready to get jiggly?
This is $10 from Bit Jello Boy. Go. What? In the middle of the tip, AJ. In the middle. You fucking ruined my
I tried to stop.
Okay, but now you have to say his name. I'll read the tip, but you have to jiggle it for me.
Okay, I will.
Nobody else is jiggling.
But
Okay.
did we give a shout out to Matt Guyver? That's all I want to make sure. We just shout out to Matt Guyver if we didn't do that. But this comes from. I'm sorry. I'm doing multitasking here.
Stream,
I'm multitasking here.
The show literally just fell apart. I just saw it happen.
I told Brian to read this one.
Bit Jello Boy 30, that jiggly gamer cat with a $10 donation says,
"Here is some money for Brian's electric bill. Weird seeing it so well lit. I know, I hate this. I need to turn it down. The light is killing me. I actually might turn it off. When I turned on the fan, I must turn off the light. We'll see what happens." He goes, "Can't wait for next week. Pistol Whip. It's so hard to remember that there's like actual PSVR games coming out that we're excited for, because I'm so fucking hyped on Dreams. But yeah, we are definitely excited about Pistol Whip. Thank you so much, Bit Jello Boy 30, that jiggly gamer cat.
Jiggly.
Jiggly.
And another one. Okay, Donatello, we're not going to just sing everything that people want us to sing. It's like a one-side thing. Although a $10 tip, I mean, I don't know. Damn it.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Get out of here!
AJ, who's that?
That Dave Station VR, who also has a dream in Dreams, by the way, made by Clever Trev Gaming. And if you need tutorials, subscribe to Clever Trev Gaming. He does live streams, and you can ask him anything, and he'll teach you. But this tip comes from Donatello, the scientist game cat. With a $10 donation says, "Can I get you guys to sing
No.
Everly Brothers' Dream, 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 Dream"?
Wait,
not
is
sure how
that
that
is
one
that
goes. Top of my head.
dream, 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 dream? That's all I got. Is that the one? I don't know.
I think you have the best shot of that.
Also, fuck this and turn this thing off.
We could do like oh yeah, people like the lighting, and now you kill.
Oh, it's so much, man. It's so much. It's warm in here. For some reason I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. Oh my! Now it's too dark. I don't know what to do. You guys talk while I figure this fucking lighting
Okay,
situation.
well, we got one more from Wonder Rob. This time he had a thing that he said, and people are trying to make me do things.
Fuck you! This is my dream world!
That's what I have to say to you,
My
Rob.
dream place.
$5 from Wonder Rob says, Dave, dink booze and then sing like Dean Martin. I
Wait,
will
what?
dink. Hold on, I'm gonna dink booze. Here we go. I'm gonna dink it.
Dink
Pick it
it
up.
Dink.
and
I
sink
dinked
it.
it. Don't have to drink it. I just have to dink it. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate the $5. And do we want to move on to Star Wars Squadrons? I think we've talked about Honor and Duty, and we've got off some tangents here.
We have
So,
indeed. And by the way, is Airplane Challenge on our run of show?
It's not, but it's coming out soon next month, right? August.
Late
We'll get
August,
to it
early
later.
September.
Late August. Yeah.
If anybody's watching this footage in the bottom corner of the screen, the second I saw this, I was kind of floored because the earlier footage we'd seen Reggie show off from this game was really kind of bland when it came to the environments and texture work, and this is just like looking really cool. Like when you're
Oh, I can take that out.
when you're down there like on the ground, you see individual blades of grass, and it just looks so nice. So I'm actually suddenly excited to play this just because. Yeah, why not, man? Let's fly around. Andy said it might make you sick if you play in first person mode, and as we talked about earlier in the show, that's what I want.
Yeah, exactly. The ability to see individual blades of grass makes me want to ask Reggie for like a flower mode. You guys remember the game Flower? Where
Yeah.
you're just like a little wisp and you go around. That would be incredible. Flower mode, Reggie. Think about it.
And then journey mode, because that game's fucking
Sure.
awesome too.
Yeah.
Yep.
People need to make those games in dreams.
All right,
right.
so we got some new information regarding Star Wars Squadrons. Don't think for 1 second we forgot about that game because we're very, very excited. Essentially, some people out there were fortunate enough to get some early access hands-on impressions and shared some information. And we got some more details about some of the core mechanics and some of the features of the game. Basically, starting with, they said that this is from the PC side. However, a lot of this will translate to the PSVR as well.
It's the same game.
Gentlemen, I will go ahead and post this to the Discord for you guys as well to look at my shitty notes. But
cool.
just in case they help. But he did say that the core experience will be from the cockpit. So nobody will have a third-person point of view. Everything's first person.
Oh.
He said there's a system in there that'll be a lot about balancing energy. You'll have like 3 different things to work in the cockpit where it's like you can focus on like attack power, defense power, and then something else. I don't remember the other one. Maybe it's a balancing one. But did highlight the prologue. Said they played like the prologue of the game, and it was about an hour long, just for like the intro. I think he said called it the tutorial. I was like, wow, just an hour long for the tutorial alone. But basically highlighted the fleet battle mode, which I talked a little bit about with you guys beforehand, and how there's this morale system.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that's come out about this, and really it's good to see that they're being so open about the game and letting people play it and actually record footage. There's an hour-long video on YouTube with a guy talking about his play session, and there's video for the entire hour. Like, you can look at this game now if you want to. It's on YouTube. So, first of all, obviously it looks great. The stuff that I've read about it is sort of what I expected for a $40 EA game in this vein, which is that it's narrow but deep. So, like, there is just a few modes. It's like Firewall, essentially, where it's like you can get a lot of depth out of this. Obviously, it sounds like there's more systems than Firewall, but it's not trying to do everything. It's not trying to give you this experience or that experience. It's just this dogfighting 5v5. That's it. But within that kind of framework, it sounds like there's a lot to do and a lot of stuff to tweak and keep an eye on to kind of optimize your playthrough and stuff. So it should be cool. And like I said, it's out there if you guys want to take a look at it. Yeah, there's tons of shit. You have a huge list here. So, I mean, if you want to grab some more points off of here, that's fine.
Yeah, so one of the things I thought was most interesting, so he said that the dogfighting, which is basically team deathmatch, like you said, he said that's good, but he thinks the fleet battle is going to be like where all the people really remain. And Brian, I want to see how you feel about this too. Describe fleet battle as like a giant scale tug of war system where you have to fight things you do on the battlefield builds morale, and as you build that morale, you advance into the next like stage of the battle, which we know before. I think there was like 3 of them where, you know, it starts at dogfight, then you take out the capital ships, and then ultimately you're trying to get to the flagship, the big one. But it is like Dave said, it is way more detailed than that once you get in there, because the flagships have subsystems once you reach them that can be disabled or destroyed, and said that the shield generators, that there's a targeting system that once your team destroys the targeting system, it affects the flagship's rate of fire and accuracy. And that's like the AI turrets of the thing. And then there's also like a power system where if you defeat this power system, it reveals the vulnerabilities and the weak spots of different of that ship. So I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
How there's like a strategy to it.
Right, and like basically looking at it like it's a big, like a small part of a bigger war going on. That makes me feel like I'm actually doing something like substantial. And
yeah, that's part of the fun Star Warsiness of it too, because they're not out there shooting guys just in some skirmish for no reason. It's like a mission. You got to get this done, then you go do this, and then you blow up the capital ship or something like that. Like, it's very Star Warsy. I like it.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's so funny because like they're doing. It feels like they're doing everything right, and I would much rather have a more focused game that doesn't let you do everything. You know, that doesn't let you walk around, in first person or something on a planet or some crazy shit like that. You know, I would much rather have it be this really focused thing that they're obviously creating, and everything I've seen on it so far looks unbelievable. So. Yeah, I mean, this kind of information makes me more excited for October than ever. But
definitely, and when you throw in good,
the fact that they're willing to show it off, like I said, like to let people sit here and record footage and talk about it openly. They can't talk about the campaign details, but otherwise, the gameplay, everybody's saying really, really positive stuff, and they're confident enough that it's good enough that they can have people look at it months and months before it comes out. So,
and they're not even playing it in VR yet.
Yeah, they don't get a chance to. Yeah. Although I saw some guy on one article be like, they wouldn't let me play it on my Oculus Quest. And it's like, motherfucker, you can't play that game on Quest. That's not a Quest game.
Yeah, the 2 other things I was going to say, the team deathmatch also has like obstacles and stuff. So if you do get into dogfights, I love this. Probably one of my favorite parts of hearing about this is like you can try to lose somebody within some debris. Eve kind of did this too. Where there's like debris everywhere and you can like lose them and make them crash. And I love that aspect of it. Really makes you hone in on like your piloting skills. And then, yeah, of course, like the 50 plus components that you can use and build your loadout with to have a different strategy. So some people I know are going to end up creating some crazy different strategies with this. And it keeps it fresh, keeps it like, there'll be somebody having this strategy and then somebody to have a counter strategy. And it keeps it from just being a pew, pew, pew repetitive ordeal.
Yeah, and I like what I've heard about some of the classes. Like there's the one that's the bomber that is also like a support class, and you can heal people, drop, power-ups or some kind of resources for your other players, but then also drop bombs on enemies. And I like the option to play as like a support character. You don't really get that in some games. Like Firewall, there is no support class. You can't, I mean, there is, but it's not how it works. So in Overwatch, I was always Lucio. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but I just wanted to go around healing people and bouncing off walls and having a good time. I didn't want to shoot.
I love playing as heals. I love playing as heals.
Yeah, the fact that I can do that in this game would be great. One thing you mentioned about the campaign, or not the campaign specifically, but that it focuses on one thing, and that's good. actually just played a bit of the campaign of Battlefront 2 because it was free, and I heard it had a decent campaign. And that game tries to do everything. It's like, hey, now you're Luke Skywalker, even though we made a shooting game. Hey, you're in a plane, even though we made a shooting game. And so they throw you into all these things every few seconds, and it's like, some of it's underwhelming. Like, it doesn't feel good to be Luke Skywalker in that game. Because it's not designed around that. Whereas like Jedi Fallen Order, it feels great to be a Jedi because it's designed around that one experience. So I have to assume the campaign here, because it's all focused around that one gameplay mechanic, is going to be tighter and better than something like a Battlefront where they just, oh, do this, oh, do that, oh, do this, oh, do that. You get to settle into the mechanics as you play through the story. So I'm very excited. Anyways, that's probably enough about Star Wars.
Well,
Right?
real quick, PSVR Mania in the chat says, I really count on the fact that they have the music, the sounds of Star Wars, etc., to have the best VR game. This is something that I felt Dreams showcased really well when I was playing the last couple days, because there could be an average-looking game, but when the sound effects, like when people had like awesome music to accompany what you're doing, or great sound effects, it really added to the immersion and made me like, you know, even if something wasn't perfect, it kept me going, and I was like really invested. And that's not something I usually focus on so much when it comes to gaming, is like the audio element of it. But Dreams has showed me, I think, a lot that audio can go a very, very long way. And I 100% agree with PSVR Mania that obviously the audio is going to be a big part of Star Wars as well.
Well, kind of to segue off of that into Dreams in a weird way. I mean, this is not the main point I want to talk about with Dreams, but it just occurred to me. So I assume Dreams will have PS5 support. We have to think they're going to want to put this forward into the future so people can make stuff on more powerful hardware.
It's already running on
100%, 100%.
Okay.
And they did say they have a 10-year plan for it, so I don't think that 10-year plan includes just PS4.
Given that information, and the fact that Sony is talking so much about the audio on the PS5, like the stuff that they can do with spatial audio, 3D audio, I think people in Dreams will probably have even more options to play with in terms of what the PS5 can do with creating that sort of immersive, soundscape.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
the feature is going to be great. And
That's
then
a really good point.
They'll put ray tracing in this shit too, probably. Like,
what's funny is I actually heard that, I don't know if this is true or not, but I don't see why any reason it would be if somebody would lie about this. But apparently you used to be able to actually download sound bits and stuff to Dreams for your games. But apparently, from what I heard, EA or something got mad about it and got it taken out. It was actually removed due to copyright issues. So you'll still hear games with audio clips and music stuff, but that's why all the music clips and stuff you hear sound like they're playing from like a cell phone or something.
Yeah. I mean, I think Clever Trap said they reduced it to like 15 seconds of audio input, so you can't record like a whole scene of a movie or like a whole soundtrack thing.
Interesting.
Right.
And you'll notice too if you play like officially licensed stuff. So I played this Star Wars knockoff, this X-Wing knockoff, and they had the music from Star Wars, but it was all pitched weirdly and like shifted in a way where it wouldn't get caught by a copyright thing. So it's like, it sounded weird. I was like, I can tell this is Star Wars, but this doesn't really sound like Star Wars. It's something weird here.
I use that for the Avengers, my Iron Man Unibeam video. I used like this Avengers knockoff thing, and it was like almost exact.
Do we have a Media Molecule dev in the chat right now? Because Claire Blackshaw says, we disabled the audio importer from website due to abuse with copyright audio. But you can plug any USB mic or audio device the PS4 picks up as a mic into console and get HQ audio.
Excellent.
HD audio, I assume. HD audio. That's cool. Claire, if you are on Media Molecule team, thanks for hanging out in the chat. That's awesome. It sounds like you have some insight.
Well, get on Discord. Join us on the show.
Yes, join our Discord. And by the way, guys, it is time, speak of the devil, that we talk about Dreams PSVR, which released yesterday. The update, I should say, is finally here. We've been talking about it since January, if not before that.
Dude, we've been talking about it for literally 2 years. Like I said before, I found a viewer takeover with games. What was it? It was the Midnight Gamescast, where we talk about when should we expect PSVR support for Dreams. It was over 2 years old. I was like, wow, we've been talking about this forever. Guys, sorry, just real quick. Shout out to Arlen Theodori with the $3.99 donation. We totally missed that way back in there. Thank you. Thank you, Tree Guy.
Got a real long one there.
If anyone who doesn't know, Arlen Teodori and I worked together at Bocado, the last restaurant I worked at for years. He stops in the streams all the time, and I miss you, dude. I miss you a lot. Thanks for the donation.
I totally saw that coming. She was just sitting there right next to you, waiting,
Dude,
stalking
she's
the
on the
keyboard.
mouse. She's on the mouse.
But yes,
she's going to shut the stream down, man, any second.
So this update came as a free update, and a lot of us had this game already, and I think the biggest thing that we were surprised about, I'm not a pessimist. Like I am usually pretty optimistic about things, but I thought that there was going to be like some kind of catch here, some kind of big catch to all this, but this actually kind of exceeded my expectations, Brian.
Well, by a long shot. I know you said Brian, but I'm going to jump in here and get in front of it because I was ready. The thing is, I think we've talked about this a little bit in some other format. I don't remember where we talked about it. Maybe on the live stream on Tuesday, Monday, whatever it was. That article they put out with Upload VR before that they did their kind of reveal stream on Twitch was so incredible. I was blown away. Like,
right.
We assumed, and I feel like they had even told us there might be limitations on VR stuff as opposed to regular Dreams creation. But the fact that you can create anything in VR that you could create flat screen, and that there are basically no limitations to it, and everything's playable as easily as flicking a switch. This is the biggest thing. We've talked for years about, VR is not that easy. I know you want this game in VR, but you can't just flick a switch and have it work. Dreams figured out the way to make a switch that you flip, and most games just work in VR. Like, you got to tweak them a little bit, but
they're putting Lloyd out of business.
It's insane how day one people I saw Clever Trev Gaming on stream, flick a switch, and then I played that game. He didn't tweak anything, he didn't do anything to it, and it ran fucking perfect. So there's so much that we're going to see coming out of this thing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We were, AJ and I, for anyone who doesn't know, we talk on the phone like literally 2 to 3 hours a day, and which is why I don't get any work done ever. But one of the conversations we've been having recently was obviously leading up to PSVR Dreams launch was, got to manage our expectations, man. Got to manage it. And then even after the Upload VR article interview came out, we were like, we really have to manage our expectations. Everything's going to have a crappy frame rate. Everything's going to have super low textures or resolution. Everything's going, we're going to have, only the smallest of dreams will work perfectly in VR. Like, I was just trying to imagine all the things that could go wrong. And from the word go, everything was practically flawless. It was really the most impressive VR launch of anything I've seen. Like, maybe Wipeout Omega Collection notwithstanding, where it was like, oh my god, this is actually the entire game and it's like fucking perfect and whatever. And it was like the same level of excitement because I was like, holy crap, this is perfect. This just works, and it works so well.
I was expecting to fire up like one of the first games. One of the first things that did kind of catch me off guard was that they didn't enable support for every single game from the get-go, right?
Right.
The way that the Upload VR article worded it, it made it sound like, you'd be able to just go ahead and start playing everything in the VR version. You'd have to tweak it and adjust it, or wait for the creators to tweak it and adjust it, but you could override it. Is basically how they made it sound. So we ended up having to kind of wait, but for some games to flip that switch, but they've started doing it already, and they were pretty fast to get onto it. So big shout out to all the creators out there who were just like day one on top of this update. I know some as well are having to go in and actually fine tune, make adjustments, and they're still continuing to do so. But one of the most impressive things to me was that when some of these guys flipped their switch, it looked good. Like, it was like my PS4 playing this game flat was like sounding like it was about to take off on like an airway.
Yeah.
And
people say this all the time, right? About different games. They're always saying, my PS4 sounds like a jet engine. I didn't know what they were talking about until I played Dreams flat the night before the patch. Right. I was like, oh my god, I think it's going to blow.
I was pretty sure when I started playing Dreams in PSVR, my PS4 was going to catch on fire. I could almost have guaranteed it.
Yeah, 100%.
But it looks great. Like, some of these games have, some of these Dreams look better than like actual like full PS4 games that we have played, like, purchased. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I was impressed. I mean, people ask what the resolution's like and how it looks, and that depends 100% on the dream that you're playing. Because, for instance, there's stuff that looks good, but it's not because it's not fuzzy and not like Turbulence, for instance. That game looks incredible. The explosions, the weather effects, how quickly you're moving. But if you took a freeze frame of it, you'd be like, this doesn't look that good. But in the headset, it really does. But stuff that's less involved, that doesn't have a bunch of shit going on all the time, can be very crisp, like incredibly crisp, as crisp as anything you've ever seen on the PSVR. So it's just honestly pretty incredible. We got a couple tips, though.
Yeah, let's knock these out real quick.
Give you the right to squeeze me.
That
That's
is
quick.
Donatello, the scientist game cat. What's up, dude? With a $10 donation. Thank you so much. Says PSVR is now playing with the big boys. The IPs they now have make it a must buy, in my opinion. It's true. This is, we're gonna get into why, but I do already can say that Dreams, in my opinion, is a killer app for PlayStation VR.
Yeah, there's nothing like this on PC. The closest thing is the fact that you can remix and remake your own stuff in Half-Life Alyx engine, but it's not as full-featured as this, I don't think. Anyways,
Fuck you. Fuck you. Don't squeeze me.
that's K-Panic, the Game Cat Dreamer, with a $2 donation who says, Ride at Altopolis. Ah!
Yeah.
Mind blown. Yes, that is one we're going to talk about for sure. We have a lot of favorites already, and we haven't dived into that. We're just talking general, but we're talking Ride at Altopolis at some point, I guarantee.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
does this put? Does this put? I haven't played things like VR chat, and that's like one of the things that almost everybody universally is like, when is VR chat coming to PlayStation VR? Because it was announced at one point, right? And it was sort of that thing where you could like make all of these copyrighted characters, and you could kind of like create whatever you wanted to. Does this kind of put that to rest, where we're like, we don't need that now?
Well, when they add multiplayer to VR, potentially, yeah, depending on how many people. I mean, like, this could even put Rec Room out of business, honestly. Not out of business. They're free. It's a free game. They won't go out of business. But I just think, the stuff that you can do in here is objectively more impressive than some of the stuff I've seen in Rec Room. And if you have a situation where multiple people can get in a room together, that's going to be killer. Like, imagine 8 of us hanging out in a room that somebody in the community built. Like, hanging out at Trev's Ninja Turtles hideout or whatever he's got. Like, that would be pretty cool. And I think that will happen at some point.
So Claire did say there was confusion because on the dev server, they had settings set different. So they wanted to respect the creator's vision, so they made it a Switch instead, which I think is great. The only drawback to that is if like people don't have the game anymore, or something like that, and maybe wanted to be able to and couldn't, or just have started a new life away from gaming and can't do it anymore. Hopefully there would be some way to counter that. However, Gamer Chick 13 says, I have a question for PSVR Without Parole. Do you consider Dreams PSVR a game or a tool?
Well, that's a tough question because I mean it's whatever you want it to be, right? If I feel like spending the next year of my life making a game, and making it as awesome as I want to make it, then it's a toolkit. But right now for me, it's the greatest game ever made because it's just an endless run. Like every single time I drop in, I'm bound to find more exciting games to play.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be the biggest, craziest things ever. But seeing people go, oh, this is the thing I always wanted to make, and now I'm finally able to do it, even if it's not like super polished or super professional. I finally get to, they finally get to put that out there, and I finally get to see it, which is amazing. I think this is going to put a lot of indie developers on high alert, right? Because suddenly things like Throw Anything, when that game came out, what'd they charge? Like $20 for it or something insane? Like, that feels like a game that belongs in here.
Oh, hold on. Roll back a second. The fact that you think that those developers have any awareness of stuff like that in terms of releasing a game and pricing it is really, really generous on your part. Because for the most part, what we've heard is that they have literally no clue what the market is like when they price these games. Right. Some of these small indie devs.
It might be it might be a generous thing to say, because that it is fascinating how many times we talk to a developer and they like have no idea what we're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
But the fact is before this came out, or before I finally played this in VR, or before I even the night before when I dove into the flat screen version and like started experimenting and seeing and checking out all the different flat screen dreams, there was this thing that people would say when they would say, "Man, throw anything looks like it could have been made in dreams," or whatever. I mean, name it. Name your indie title. Name anything from Sin Studio. This looks like it could have been made in dreams. And I used to think of that as such a negative thing to say. But then once I actually played Dreams, I was like, oh, as it turns out, you can make things that look far better in Dreams.
Yes, absolutely, you can.
Right? And so, but all it takes is a little bit of work. So I used to say, man, sure, you could make this in Dreams, but go fucking try. Because making a game is a lot of hard work, even if it's the simplest game ever. And now I'm just like in a totally different mindset where I'm like, this is maybe the coolest game and the coolest creation toolkit I've ever seen to get back to Tiffany's question.
Yeah,
I think
and so one thing that I saw thrown around was that some of these people have been saying, Bel Ramio said in Discord, well, I'm tired of playing just a bunch of things that are 2 or 5 minutes long.
Oh, I'm never going to get tired of that.
Here's the thing. There are a bunch of those, but there's quite a few that are 15, 20 minutes. I started playing one today that was kind of like Zelda called The Slumber, something, hold on, I wrote it down. Silver Slumber. It was really cool. It's like a top-down, action RPG thing. And it was polished. There's like a whole game there. I kept getting upgrades, kept getting new moves and stuff. And I quit after 30 minutes and I wasn't done. So like to think that everything out there is just some tiny little snippet of something, that's really false. There is a lot of stuff that's worth spending time in and that you'll get sucked into and say like, wow, I just spent 20 minutes in that thing. That was incredible. Like, so
hey, no coffee for kiddies. Come on.
So Claire also said that we use adaptive resolution to maintain frame rate up to point. So some dreams will be lower res. So up to creators. I did notice that some games look like amazing. The majority of them look very good. There are some that it seems like it didn't adapt properly, and there's a couple that are a little bit blurry. However, I will say, like, for example, there was this one that I was really interested in called just VR Adventure, which you just kind of you just kind of explore and stuff. They have already made optimizations to whatever was causing their game to be very blurry. I went back in today, and it looked a lot better. Nice. And like when I say better, I mean like now there was like this like grass like waving, like grass patches of grass like waving. There was like a waterfall going, and it all looked a lot better. So they definitely have the tools. When I bought Dreams day one, and it was kind of a similar deal. There was like 5, maybe max of like 10 like must play games. But then if you go right before this PSVR update happened, I went and played more, and the depth of the games and the depth of like all the logic that people have been able to go in there and tinker with is really, really astonishing. And so I expect that's going to be similar with PSVR, right? A lot of people had games that they were making VR ready, but what's special about this, it's already amazing right now, but it's only going to get better.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Dude, this game came out in February. Tiny thing to what AJ just said. One thing and I'm done. Just got to say it real quick. This was also in relation to what AJ said.
Well, no, but it's just a tiny thing. But I don't think it's the exact same thing you're saying. I looked today. This is an anecdote. I looked today at the updated recently since you played. Every single game that I thumbs up had been updated since the last time I played it, right. Which means everybody's doing exactly what you said. They're optimizing it. It's not just that dev that you found. Like, everybody's doing that. Anyways, go ahead, Brian.
No, it's just that, this game, even Dreams Flat only came out in February. That's not a long time ago. That's less than 6 months ago. Right. That's like 5 months ago. So, like, that doesn't give... I mean, these people aren't working on their games full time. No one quit their job and was like, "I'm going to make Dreams games for a living." These people have full time jobs, or they have a life, or they go to school, or they do things, and then in their spare time they work on their Dreams game. And so the fact that we even have games that are as big and expansive as they are is almost a miracle. I know there was a beta and stuff. I know this, so it's been out a little longer for some creators, but then we like literally 24 hours ago. Sorry, now 36 hours ago, the patch went live. And it's just game after game after game. People are patching this, flipping the switch for PSVR, making their alterations. Like, anyone that's complaining about the PSVR content right now is insane. It is blowing my mind every single time I boot up the game. And this is only one day in. This is insane.
Yeah. So To that point, as far as go ahead, AJ. Sorry, enter.
I was just going to say it is interesting because Dreams has its own kind of community. A lot of the people know each other. It's similar to our community. Like, it's not like your average internet community where there's like just tons of people just running rampant and all this toxic thing. A lot of creators know each other. They collaborate with each other. Like even Clever Trev Gaming was like, dude, let me know if you ever want to like collaborate on something. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do shit right now. Like I will get back to you in 6 months when I can make a square block and stuff. But I can sure play the hell out of some games. That's for sure. But it's been awesome to see. Talking about our Discord. It's been awesome to see we've gotten a bunch of the creators like S Doric, who made Tectonic, and a couple other people have S Dorian. Sorry.
S-D-O-R-I-N, if you're looking for
S Doran. But now we've kind of, so it's really awesome to see both of our communities kind of join forces. And that was Tectonic was one of the first games where he was immediately ready to go, flip the switch, and 99% of it worked like flawlessly. And it was amazing to have this, like Brian said in the top list, where, we don't have a lot of racing games. So this was like a legit racing game with the menu and the customization, the 3 different modes. And, going back to the argument that it's just day one right now, he's already working on this. I think he posted it in our Discord. He's already working on a first-person cockpit. With
nice.
And it's got a moving steering wheel and everything.
Hell yes, I can't wait. So this all segues in, both of you guys, what you said, to what I want to talk about here real quick, which is we've talked about developers who go through like a burst, like a growth, where you see a game that they make and you're like, I don't know about that one. It was okay. And then you see their next game and you're like, wow, these guys are way better than they were last time around. And I feel like that's telescoped with Dreams, because there are people like S Doran and Sondera Bros who made Turbulence, Tectonic, and this game called Thin Air or something like that. They just converted to VR today. Thin Air was their first one, and I played it, and it's not nearly as good as the other two, but you can see the hints of it. You can see they were onto something. And then Tectonic and Turbulence are both incredible, but I think Tectonic is even like a step above because it's got that menu system. It's got upgrades. It's got multiple modes and stuff. And so you can see in the space of like, it's only been out since February, right? You said?
Yeah. Right.
During that time, in just 5 months, people have gone through 3 cycles of making one game that's decent, making another game that's pretty good, and then making a game that kicks ass.
Right.
And so it's cool to see that happening so quickly on Dreams, and that it's not just them either. Like, Great Job Human. AJ and I talked about this one. I said, you got to play Super Great Job Human demo.
I did that for you, by the way.
I said it's incredible. You will like it. It's very polished. It's great. And, you guys agreed. It's one of the top 10 things that's out there right now. But Great Job Human, the original one that they made, is kind of bland. It's not really that exciting. And AJ had played that one, and he was like, I think I know the one you're talking about. It was kind of boring. I didn't like it.
It was okay.
When you hit their second version of the game, Super Great Job, it's immediately in another category. It's like so much more polished and so much more game.
It's very fine-tuned for VR, right?
It's happening fast is what I'm saying. So in the next 6 months, we're going to see crazy shit, I think. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, and also you were, AJ, I think, was mentioning the how the two communities are sort of, merging all at once right now. And I got to say, dude, it's like there are some Dreams creator superstars out there. It's so funny when you're like, oh man, I really like this game, click. I really like this game, click. I really like this game, click. And you start going, wait a minute. These are all by the same dude.
I found this weird-ass cheese game where you'd have to pick the type of cheese, but the cheese was incredible. It looked gorgeous. It was so well-designed. The resolution was great, and you could pick it up and play with it. The cheese physics were incredible. But I was just fucking around on stream, and I was like, funny cheese game. I guess I'll play it. I go back, and it's the same guy who made A Ride at Altopolis.
Crazy.
Yes, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Right?
This thing is crazy. I love it. I want to look through everybody's history and see what weird shit they made.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. And again, it bugs me a little bit that I didn't dive in sooner, because I was really thinking that, the PSVR support for this was going to be minimal. It was going to be a separate thing, a separate entity where you could only, exist in this small little room and you could only build in this small room, or you were, that the dreams that were created weren't going to be playable in VR. In my head, I was like, that is the mentality to keep until someone tells me otherwise. And so I kind of just like stayed away from the creation tools. I was like, oh, it's fine. This isn't going to be something that's going to be a big deal. And now I'm very, very happy to be wrong. It's absolutely one of the biggest deals. This is, I don't know if we're jumping the gun here, talking about top 25 debate. That's going to happen next week, guys.
That's next week. You can't go too much into it.
I'm not going to go too much into it, but
save the debating for next week.
36 hours into the Dreams PSVR update, and I am in my head saying this is number one. This is number one. This beats everything else that I want to fight for on next week's top 25 list.
I'm not giving y'all nothing. Brian can go ahead and spoil where he's coming from, but no, you guys are gonna have to wait till next week to hear my thoughts. It's probably not that far off though, but yeah. So some of the games we've gone through, there's been a lot. We did the list like you said, and I the graphical overall is one of the most impressive things I've seen. There's a lot of just like the original game, there is a lot of kind of sorting through stuff you got to see. There's stuff that's like, oh, you can tell this is great for everybody, but then there was stuff for me personally that I was like, okay, this just speaks to me on a personal level, and I love how there's just something for everybody here, and I can't really wait to see. I'm still waiting for a lot of games to get fine-tuned, like Tectonic, for example. As much as I love it right now, I can't wait to play it again with the cockpit view. Yep. And I imagine a lot of people, when Trev was showing us some things, he says to flip that switch for VR, it's not hard, but to optimize it, to get the logic to display the first-person point of view, things like that, is a lot more work. So that's kind of what we're waiting on right now for a lot of people. There's some, like Claire said, they want to respect the creators' vision for the game. And as much as I'm like, well, give it to us now, right. As much as I want to be like that, I'm like, okay, I get it. I guess I could be, I can understand. But
AJ, just I'm sorry for interrupting you, but since we do have a dev in the chat, if they're still around, we heard a rumor that you might have to have a PlayStation VR headset to enable PSVR compatibility with your game. Did we get any confirmation on that? And maybe we can get confirmation from the dev. If not,
yeah,
one of the creators will know. Yeah,
I just want to specify that the reason I changed shirts is because someone in the chat accused me of being too good for the floral shirt these days, and I said I'm not too good for the floral shirt. It's right over there.
I do like that shirt.
It's a nice shirt.
My favorite shirt.
Yeah, it looks like you cleaned it too. It looks less faded than it used to.
It makes you look more like a Floridian for sure. You fit in with the culture down there.
I've lived here my whole life. So.
Nice. Did we get Wonder Rob's tip? Can we do this before we?
Oh no. Yeah. So.
Okay. Right. That's Wonder Rob with a $10 donation. I'm sorry. I wanted to play this with my nieces, but I immediately encountered adult content outside of the game's teen rating. Is there any requirement for content creators to label adult content? That's interesting.
I didn't see anything pervy at all. I didn't see anything.
Well, so he was actually referring to. I talked to Wonder Rob earlier, and I hope you're doing better, man. He was a little bummed because he wanted to play with his niece, but he's afraid that he's going to run into something. This game is rated T, but he saw something that was violent, right? And was afraid that she would have to see this, and now is kind of afraid to do stuff let her go and play it freely. So I'm not exactly sure, but that is a good question for the devs.
I feel like it'd be easy to just like things that that she would be able to play, click the thumbs up on stuff, and then when she's over, just hang around in the room, keep an eye on what she's playing, and say, "Oh, why don't you try the ones that I already clicked thumbs up on? I think you'd like those ones." Yeah. And then she'd already have a playlist to go through.
It looks like Claire said, not sure as far as needing a PSVR headset. Not sure. We would need to double check where we landed on that. But did say that you needed to play the game in VR. I missed that. I lost the comment.
You have to play it one time in VR to upload it in VR.
I believe you need to play it once in VR. So yeah, it would sound like you need a headset.
You gotta have it, or borrow a headset from somebody, I guess, and plug it in one time, and then.
During these times, it's a little bit of a tough time to borrow a headset,
Yeah, that's true. I have an extra one sitting around if anybody wants to borrow it.
So if you need to,
if you have a flat Dreams game that you really need to make, but you have to send it back. Real quick, K-Panic, GameCat Dreamer.
Ow! Fuck you! It hurt!
$2.99. It says Dream Grinder VR. I'm not sure how to answer that question. We got another one from David Moore.
Ow! 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 Fuck you! Ah!
Wow.
$4.99. David Moore says, statement. AJ, you do a wonderful job as run of show. You're the best. Question. Can a GameCat make an announcement to Brian Paul? He's going to get down on one knee, I think.
Please make your announcement.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Go for it, David Moore. Thank you for the donation.
This is the town square.
Thanks for the nice compliment.
I feel like I'm confused. Yeah, AJ, you fucking rock it as the as the run of shower of the show. But if anyone doesn't know, I just fly by the seat of my pants 24/7, and if it wasn't for AJ, we would just be like, we would come up with topics on the spot. But AJ's like, here's the run of show.
All this praise for me today. I don't like this one bit.
We heard you were gonna quit. We heard you were gonna quit. Now we have to kiss up.
Is there an ambush after the show, like waiting for me?
Yeah. Can a GameCat make an announcement to Brian Paul? I don't even know what that means. But unfortunately, I do have a cat now, and so I'm committed. I'm in a committed relationship. And there's no room in my life for anyone else.
I have a big question. Claire Blackshaw is still in here. She has some info. What I want to know is, can we? Oops, I knocked something over. I want to know is, can we make playlists and share them with people? Because I would love for us to be able to share. The In Dreams website is actually incredible. If you guys play Dreams and you haven't gone to the website, absolutely do that and log into your account, because it's really easy to browse stuff. You can filter the same way you can any other way, but you can look at reviews and comments and all this stuff. It's really cool. I would love to be able to make a playlist that we could just put up a link and say, these are our top 10 games for this month. And just share that with people so they could go through and play them. Is that a thing that we can do, or in the future, maybe possible?
Well, there is, she was talking about how there is this, the In Dreams website. They've been trying to get the word.
Yeah, that's
you're right. And that is kind of like how you Lipnox posted it said God Cannon follows, and was showing the games that I play or follow in the thing, and that's how kind of people have been making a playlist. So it's not maybe the most seamless in-game way to do it, but I suppose
there's a thing called collections. You could just make a collection. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Right, and that's what
it's already in the game. I didn't know anything. Yeah,
nice. I got to explore the options a bit more.
Okay, it's funny because I haven't spent much time in Dreams before VR, and now I want to spend all my time. As soon as this is over, I'm going back in there.
Oh yeah, I've been doing it for the last 24 hours at least.
Yeah, it's awesome. I meant to play for 20 minutes before the stream, and I ended up playing for an hour and a half.
But yeah, some of these, you guys want to talk about some of these games we've seen? Some of these first games?
And I do want to apologize in advance. My hope was to have just clips of every single game that we're going to talk about in the corner of the screen. But man, it was,
Sorry, I've got another video to send you to in that vein.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to have random games playing in the bottom corner of the screen. I apologize that they're not the ones we're talking about. They will show up eventually, I'm sure. But there were just too many. There were too many to talk about, and it would have taken a ton of time to do that. Dan Romero says, how do we go about joining the Discord? The link is in the description of this video down below. Click the little arrow, drop it down, click the join our Discord link. Everyone should be over there, especially if you're a Dreams creator, because we have a Dreams channel over there, and really we want everybody, all the creators, to go over there and share what you got, because obviously we're making top 5, top 10 lists. We want to make sure that, if there's any cats out there that have awesome games they want to share, we want to be able to highlight those on the channel and get everyone over and checking out your work. You guys are really creative, and we love you. So come join us.
Definitely share us your stuff.
I've already been blown away by people we know.
Yeah.
Right. I know Igme, a couple other people made some really cool things. Like we said, we've had some pretty well-renowned creators jumping in there and kind of getting feedback from us as experienced PSVR players. We're kind of giving them some, experienced PSVR stuff feedback, and then they're giving us experienced Dreams feedback for us as well. So it's a nice little team that we got here.
Yeah, I also want to know if there's any creators out there who said, you know what, I want to take my creation to the next level, and went out and bought a PSVR headset because of this announcement. I'm curious to hear that.
So. Yeah, no, I think part of the thing about Dreams is the promise of being able to create anything sort of comes with it, the idea of what if I could really get really into the thing that I'm making? I'm creating a world. What would it be like to be inside that world? And so everybody, I think, who's creating anything sort of has that inkling in the back of their head. And the fact that so many of these got converted day one says to me that a lot of these big creators who are making great stuff have been thinking about and excited about VR for a while, because they already had a headset if they converted it and uploaded it. So, I think there's a lot of people out there who already created stuff, and it's just a matter of time before we get their VR version of it.
Man, I hate time. I hate time. Time sucks.
What's wrong with time?
Because I just want to play it, because I was searching through Dreams the night before, going and saying, oh, I love this and following this creator and following that game, and I was like, and I was so excited the next morning to be like, I can't wait to just play this list of games that I curated, and then be like, oh crap, it's like somebody send these people a fucking VR headset so I can play their games. But yeah, time eventually, time.
Yeah.
So, the first day we already got some really big things. I did a video earlier about this Resident Evil Project Escape.
I do have that video that you made.
Yeah. Okay, good. How did you guys end up liking this? Anyone in the chat too? Did you guys end up playing this one?
I thought it was great. The first thing that I thought when I booted it up was like, I really hope they have head tracking for the gun. And they had head tracking for the gun. That's the first game so far I've played that had a gun with head tracking. It was awesome. But it's pretty cool. Like, the moments where Nemesis shows up are scary and well done, and like they sound good, they look good. He busts through walls like he always does, and he's very intimidating. Basically, the concept is I don't know if you saw AJ's video, but it's pretty simple. There's 3 generators in this place that you have to turn back on, but it's kind of mazy. There's kind of a maze, and you got to figure out where they are. But he's always on your tail. He's always around the corner somewhere. So you can put down security cameras, which is kind of cool, and keep an eye on like when he pops up in certain areas. So there's like mechanics to the game, and there's pickups, like health pickups, ammo. If you search around, there's some depth to it, and then it grades you at the end. You can replay it on a harder difficulty. There's depth to it. Like it was a pretty good ass game, honestly.
That was a short video, AJ. It's already over. I'm looking at your Patreon supporters. It's already over.
Right. What'd you think of it?
Well, let's start at the beginning, because I heard that's a very good place to start. It is the when you first jump into it, it does this kind of time crisis thing, which I was a little wary about. Because we played Crisis Brigade, and I was like, man, if the camera took control and like ran you through the environment without you having control over that, it might make me sick. And that's exactly what this does, as many Dreams games do. At the very beginning, you're running through the street. It looks almost like photorealistic, with a little bit of shimmer and stuff. And there's, police cars and fires, and then there's a helicopter crashing, and it's going boom, 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 and you run into the umbrella factory. I just think it's funny if it's an umbrella factory. Like that's what these generators are running. And I was like, oh crap, this totally works in VR. Come on, Sumo Lab, let's do this. Let's make Crisis Brigade 3 like a real on rails thing.
I have a very, I don't know, this came up to me a bunch during a lot of games, and some creators are good about that. This game is good about that. They don't shake you around in a way that throws you off or makes you feel uncomfortable. There are some games that have built-in camera shifts that I don't think they adjusted properly for VR, where I've actually gotten a little more nauseous in this game, a little more headachy, a little more weirded out than I have by anything in a while, because if you keep playing a bunch of stuff in a row where it's not totally optimized, and maybe like the camera moves are a little jerky and kind of you're not in control, it throws your brain off. That stuff is out there, so keep an eye on the VR rating. People can go through, and we didn't talk about this yet, but there's a intensity rating, 1, 2, or 3, and 3 is maximum, and it gives you a warning actually before you play it. It's like, are you sure that you want to do this? Whereas 1 is barely anything. But when you rate a game, you can put that in. So it's like a community-based thing.
But as far as this game in particular, because I do agree with you, there were a few moments where in other games that I was like, oof, like that didn't feel good at all, and I just feel like they didn't really refine certain things. But for the most part, like 9 out of 10 times the camera's moving around, I'm like, this is totally fine. Which is surprisingly something we haven't really seen in many PSVR games, using your VR headset as the camera and like swooping you around and doing different things outside of a vehicle or something. So it's good to see that works, and it was amazing to see this do it so well before you even start playing the game. What a great introduction to the game. And then once you get inside, man, like how cool does this place look? AJ's telling me it looks like Resident Evil 7. I dive in, and I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like Resident Evil 7, ish.
I didn't want to go that far because just the amount of like detailed like pots and pans and stuff laying around, but just the textures alone that they used and included, that was probably one of the biggest surprises to me was how close this looked to actual Resident Evil 7. And to Dave's point when he said that the tracking with like the head tracking, that's how the tracking in Resident Evil 7 was. And this was one of the games that didn't come out just like day one. We had to wait till this morning. And this is probably what we'll see moving on and on with a lot of these games where they go in, they do it right. This is where respecting the creator's vision pays off, because he went in there instead of just flipping the switch. And, a lot of times the logic with the hands and stuff and, the reticle will stay in the same spot and you'll use the dual shock and it won't go anywhere. But that's where this kind of pays off, is he had time to go in there, make sure everything looked good, and then was able to actually integrate the same tracking system and controls as the actual game itself, at least for us in PSVR. So that is pretty sweet.
One thing I want to touch on, similar to what Brian was saying about camera pans and stuff, not really throwing you off too much. As far as the camera goes, there's another feature that we haven't talked about yet that is one of my favorite things that I didn't even consider or expect. There's scenes where if you're watching a stream, it's like it's in a frame. It's like the widescreen view, because right. the creator wants you to see this thing this way for this little cutscene. But what I didn't realize, and what you can't tell on stream, is that if you move your head around it and you lean in and you look around, everything is in 3D, as if you're in VR. It's just got a little thing around it, but it's 6 degrees of freedom. If there's a person right here in 3D in front of me, I can lean around and look at the back of their head if I want to. And there is no medium that has 3D movies where you can do that. Like in the Avengers, when you're watching it in the theater, you can't get up and walk around and look at the back of fucking Tony Stark's head. That's not how 3D works.
Right.
But in Dreams, that is how the cutscenes work. And it adds this quality to everything where it's like, even unintentionally, they probably didn't have to do anything extra to make it look that way. It's just baked in. And that's such a nice little feature that I don't think people will notice that much at first, but when you do, it's really incredible.
There is another feature that I think is also blew me away, but I'm so glad you mentioned that, because even when we've had games, the only one I could think of is like Zone of the Enders, where it had the screen and it had this 3D effect. The way this has those bars, those like it like adds that cinematic feeling to it, and it blends it so well. Instead of just having this flat square, it blends it so well and then gives it that 3D element. There's a game I was playing called Choco 64, and I absolutely love this game. And every single cutscene, like if you walk up to a portal, the bars come up, and then like the whole portal that you're stepping through is like 3D and stuff, and it looks fantastic in terms of presentation. So it's funny how this game is doing these little tiny things to do like these new groundbreaking things that we've never seen before.
Yeah. I'm just constantly amazed with this thing. Yeah. I think that's the general consensus. As far as if you don't have this yet, it's on sale right now. So do yourself a favor, save a few bucks, and strike while the iron's hot, because this next week is going to be really exciting. A lot of big creators are flipping games that already have a huge following, are getting converted into VR very quickly.
Right.
So, yeah. I had already said that this game was a steal at $40. It's insane that it's $40, because this should have been a $60 game from the get-go, because it took them 10 years to make this thing, right? Who at Sony is like, oh, go ahead guys, go ahead, just whatever, you don't have to put anything out for like 10 years. Tearaway was awesome, don't get me wrong.
I've been hearing 7 years, but I personally was under the impression it was 10.
7 years, fine, we're rounding up. It's fine.
They basically built a game engine with all the perfect bells and whistles, right. And then I'm so glad that Shuhei bothered them and made them get VR in here, because I think they probably didn't even realize when they made Flat Dreams how much it could be improved by VR until they saw it themselves. That's the impression that I get. Because there's a story that they told about how Shuhei Yoshida from Sony really was the guy behind the fact that we have PSVR support for this. Yeah. He kind of dogged on it. Right. It was like, hey guys, you really need to do this. You really need to do this. You really need to do this. And they did, and it just elevates it to this point where it's like unimaginably good.
I've
Like, I don't-
never
like, yeah, go ahead.
I've never seen a game/tool like this before in all my years of gaming that was on a console. The closest thing, and this is the same company, so it kind of makes sense. The closest thing was Little Big Planet, right?
Yeah.
Little Big Planet started, and that was Media Molecule as well, as this, just awesome, cute platformer. I loved it. But then what really started building this community was giving these creation tools where people were like, I want Metal Gear Sackboy, I want Final Fantasy VII Sackboy and stuff. And that's kind of what this is. And there's always been this copyright issue with Sony where, they can't just do like open source stuff where people can just throw in whatever they want, anything. Cause they can get like, lawsuit or whatever. But yeah, this has been an amazing thing that I've never seen executed to this level before. And the fact that after VR support, they're also going to be working on multiplayer next. And then eventually PS5 support, this thing has some crazy, crazy legs on it. And if you don't mind, I want to mention the Move controllers, because speaking of like trying new ground and breaking new ground, I do think the Move controllers are a little weird how you press the trigger to walk with the left one, and then you press the move on the right one to turn.
Well, yeah. Also,
It's
menus
not
are a little weird.
traditional.
I'm not used to pressing X on the touch,
Right.
the buttons to select
Usually-
the thing in VR. You either press the move button or you click the trigger to select
Right.
stuff.
Unless
So
you're
that was,
playing Contagion.
some
God damn it,
Contagion.
monochrome. Fucking monochrome.
It's not our personal standardized controls, and I am curious to see if that can be remapped for different games. I imagine it can be remapped. I've been hearing lots of creators going in and actually mapping turn to the face buttons. But I think one of the groundbreaking things that I was actually trying to point out besides that was that this is the first time as well I've been able to play a platformer with the moves, a third-person platformer with the Move controllers. Never, ever has that been done before. It's always been DualShock only. This one, you can actually press the button, point in the direction, and the little character runs in that direction. You can jump. You can use the thing to turn. And that to me is just another thing that's like, wow, like it may not be 100% perfect. Could use some fine tuning, but the fact that they were able to do that, I thought was just mind blowing as well.
Yeah, I want to say, I don't know what, Brian, your experience was like. It sounds like AJ, you used the moves quite a lot, or tried to at least.
I mixed it up.
I mostly use the DualShock 4 because I know a lot of these games don't have move support yet. And the ones that do typically say in the description move support, or there'll be an icon at the front, like right when you load it up, that says move controllers required or something. So I've played pretty much everything with the DualShock 4, which isn't a problem to me at all.
Right.
The only thing is I wish you could turn off that little indicator when it loses sight of the light bar. Because I like to stand when I play VR a lot of the time, especially if I'm walking around in a game and doing stuff. So I have to constantly hold up the DualShock like this, pointing at the camera. And that's weird compared to just like having it sat in my lap and just occasionally like moving my leg up, crossing my legs. Oh, it got blocked. Oh, I kind of let it go down to the side for a second. Oh, I got an indicator or whatever. It's a little annoying to see that all the time when you're playing with the DualShock 4.
I'll say,
but
man,
it doesn't kill the experience. It's still awesome. I just wish you could turn it off.
I'll say for the most part, I played games sitting in a stool just like this or a chair just like this with no arms, and in my camera is where it always is, above my TV, about 6.5 feet up off the ground, pointed downward. And only when I rested my hands, like the controller was in my lap pretty much the whole time, always tracking perfectly. So I must just be far enough back where it's catching the light not without a problem. And then only when I just like when I wasn't doing anything, when I was just like waiting for a cutscene to end or something like that, when I like kind of really rested it, is when I would see that.
Well, here's why I have a problem with it, because the time that you want to be paying attention most and not having shit pop up in your face is during a cutscene. If you're playing the game and a thing pops up for a second, I can ignore it. If I'm watching a cutscene and it's in my face, I'm like, God damn it, get out of my face. Yeah. So I wish you could turn it off, because especially for cutscenes, I'd like to be able to relax and like let it sit. Yeah. Especially if I'm standing up, to have it in this position the entire time is kind of not great.
For sure. It's like a minor thing, right? But obviously it would be really nice to have the option. They've given us so many options in this. I mean, seriously, can we just address, we always, yell about options. Can we just address for a second that they gave us the option to play VR games even when the frame rate drops too low? They said, here's your fuck it checkbox. You can click this box, and that's your fuck it option. Where you say, fuck it, I don't care. I can totally deal with this. Don't worry about me.
It's still a little limited because it does kind of kick you out. I'm not complaining.
Occasionally.
Just having the option I think if it goes below 30 frames per second, you know me, man, I'm crazy. I wish I could just override anything. I'd play it with 2 frames per second if I could, but I understand that's not the optimal experience for most people, especially those prone to motion sickness that could really mess them up. But yeah, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something on that.
To your point, I would like to give us another checkbox that says, no, really fuck it. Like, we really don't care. Like, make us sick. It's totally fine. But no, it's just great because you look at the option screen and it's, just tons of options, everything that you want. And I mean, it's that. It's other things I've never even seen work well in VR games before. You take off the headset, automatically, bam, you're in 2D mode, and you don't, and it's like not your search results have changed because they know you took off the headset.
Yeah, it's so intuitive. It's so intuitive.
And and so you can jump back and forth like super seamlessly. It's never been this easy in any other game. It's switching between Move controllers and DualShock 4, just done. I swapped between them, no problem, and that is insane to me. It's like I've tried to do this in so many other games and it's always been an issue. You're like, okay, I have to turn off the Move controllers, turn it back on, try it again. We have to quit the game, restart the game with the Move controllers, and it's always some kind of fucking debacle. With this, everything is seamless. And I was just waiting for it to be like, where's the hitch? Where's the problem? And there's no problem.
The other thing too about the UI and just like the design of how you interact with finding a game and figuring out what's good and stuff, it's so easy. Like, if you look at Netflix, all the stuff they're going to recommend for you, like 8 out of 10 things you don't even actually want to watch, right? They're like, this is the best thing. Look at this. Top 10 in America. You're like, looks like shit. Oh, that's dumb. Don't like that. Whatever. You go to search. You got to dig in Netflix to find what you want. Everything that was recommended to me at the top, like, stuff that pops up at the top of the heap right when you go searching in the little scroll bar, almost everything was very good.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff that isn't there that is really good that you have to go looking for, but the recommendations aren't shit. They're all good. Yeah. Like, it's incredible.
They do curate it, though, I think.
They curate it, which is great. And then also just the community is doing a pretty good job of pushing up stuff that is good so that you see it. And, if you want to scroll for a while, you'll still keep hitting good stuff for pages and pages and pages.
Can we... Go ahead, AJ. Sorry.
I was just going to say, at first I was so excited that I was like, you did this in VR, thumbs up. You did this in VR, thumbs up. 1-star rating. But I was like, okay, maybe
everybody gets a thumbs up.
Maybe I won't be that guy and just you get a thumbs up. You get a thumbs up. You get and I was like, okay.
But dude, how crazy is that? I expected that I was going to have to go through 9 pieces of shit to find something worth playing. Yeah. And as it turns out, almost everything I looked into had some kind of redeeming value. I was like, I expected there to just be so much garbage, and there's so much great stuff.
And for first-time players, too, like, if I just popped in Dreams, or just downloaded it for the first time ever tonight, put on the VR headset, didn't know anything about it, Tectonic would be one of the first things I saw. Turbulence would be one of the first things I saw. And I'd be like,
talk about Turbulence.
I'd be like, this thing is crazy. I love this thing, even without having to look for anything. It's just right there in front of me. Click it, play it, and you're like, wow, fuck, this is good. I'm so excited about this game, guys.
I still can't believe how something like Turbulence runs. Like, you can disable that low frame. You can say still run with a low frame rate, but I didn't really experience a lot of low frame rate.
No low frame rate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hard on the fuzzies in that one, but you don't need much definition because you're in a fucking hurricane or something.
Yeah.
And you're going really fast, so the weather feels like I shouldn't be able to see things that clearly, anyways. But you definitely see the explosions very clearly.
I was going to say, I mean, a boat,
incredible.
The scale of them too, like the boat that comes and just like, and the airplane
is the gas station, the thing that flies into the gas station and it blows up on your left.
It's like a plane, right? It's like a plane.
No, there's a plane that crashes
through the highway.
The highway, and in real time, the track changes in front of you, and you have to drive differently because that part of the road's not there anymore because a fucking plane crashed into it. It's insane to me that someone could pull this off. I didn't know Dreams was capable of like having a plane crash into a road and destroy it in real time in front of you, and you just drive past it and you keep going. Like,
right, same thing with Tectonic, man.
Blew
It's
my
like,
mind. Yeah,
like you're going under the bridge there or whatever, and it's in pieces. The cave above you or like crashing down on you, just like the entire road is changing right in front of you. And yeah, that was weird. You just caught up. Everything okay?
Oh, you froze for me. Am I?
Yeah, you froze for me too.
I've still got, we still got good stream health over here, so fingers crossed everything's good.
We're good. It was just a second.
But man, it was crazy to see that kind of stuff. It was, again, I was with Dave. I had no idea Dreams was capable of some of this stuff. Like that, it wasn't even, and I, shout out to the creators of these things. They're amazing, but these weren't even the things that I walked away from most impressed with. The things I was, some of the things I was most impressed with was the fact that like one dude working on a game could scare the crap out of me in VR. I was like, that's crazy.
Those scary games, man.
Did you try something strange? I think it's called something strange.
In 2204s, whatever it was. Yeah.
That one got me. I was like, oh, fuck. Damn.
That's hard to do, man. You never get scared ever.
I was surprised by some of them.
Right.
There were a couple that actually got me.
There's a lot of, the beauty of this game also has a drawback, which is you can create whatever goes on in your wacky mind.
Your weird ass brain.
And I have seen some of the most beautiful, like meditative things, serene experiences. And then I have had like some of the worst, like nightmare fuel looking dreams that I played. Brian, I couldn't believe you put this where puppets go, where the bad puppets go.
Yeah,
you put that in the intro to the top. I played that. I was like, this is like horrifying. Like, this is so disturbing.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, Brian?
What do you mean? I didn't make it. I was just like, this is awesome because people
were like, this is good. Let me have this as the build up. I'm like,
I didn't even show anything bloody or gory. I just showed somebody walking up to a castle. I didn't even show the crazy insane parts of that. Although I will say the only thing that ruined that game for me, where bad puppets go, or where bad, what's it called?
Where the bad puppets go, yeah.
Yeah, the thing that got me with that one is that there's different walking speeds in different rooms. So you can, and so when you're finally walking up the spiral staircase, I'm just like, oh man, just walk faster, dude. Like, I get you're trying to build the tension and stuff, but it was still cool to see. That was a pretty cool one.
It was so, like, there were so many meshes of different things. And like you walk in and there's like Wario's head on like a pike,
right?
And like Shrek, and it's like gory, and it's like, no, it's seriously like all my video game heroes, or a lot of them anyways, like slaughtered. And I don't want to go into details.
Wait, but then Shrek is one of your video game heroes?
No, no.
Those Shrek video games.
Other ones that, look, it's so bad I can't even say it out loud because just the thought of it is so disturbing to me to see. Like,
you don't want to talk about Sonic and the Noose? No.
Oh man, no, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, fine.
I just want to say there's another variety of stuff too that is weird as shit, but not in a disturbing way. Like, did you guys play Fish Laser?
Yes.
No, I thought though.
That's my intro too. Yeah.
Fish Laser is pretty cool. It's really short. It's weird as hell. It's just Fish Laser, and then you jump over a thing and you punch a few things, and then you beat it. But it looks incredible. There's so much style in that little piece of whatever it is, and it's just weird. It's just called Fish Laser, and it just says Fish Laser, and then it's like
you can only jump, and you can only jump and punch, right?
Yeah. And
so it's like it almost looks 2D, and when you hit the jump button, it's like not even like super fluid like every other Dreams creation. It's like 4 frames of animation. It's like doom, 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 doom. It's like, all right, cool. And you know what it reminded me of? I'm not sure if you guys are TurboGrafx 16 fans. It reminded me of China Warrior. Because it's all about because you had this giant like Bruce Lee character on the screen, and it was a terrible game, but all you had to do is memorize the attack patterns of the guys coming in, and so you would duck underneath projectiles, you would jump over certain things, and you'd punch at the right times, and I was just like, this is the Dreams version of China Warrior. At first you're like, you're going to think, oh, this looks kind of crappy. This is a throwaway thing. Then you play it and it starts to get addictive and you start memorizing the patterns and you're like, I'm going to get this. And I'm, again, fascinated with some of the creations. And this one was a surprise to me. Fish Laser.
Yeah. No, there's some weird stuff out there that's like, just a tiny little thing. And that's the beauty of this. You can find a game that ends up being 30 minutes long that you really love, or find some cinematic thing that's really cool that lasts 5-10 minutes, or you can find this thing that's 30-45 seconds long and is funny and weird and interesting, and it's just like a little appetizer or dessert. Like, it's just like a little something that you came across that was cool, and then you can move on.
Right.
There's so many varieties of experiences that are out there. You never really know what you're going to get, which is awesome.
Because you don't know if it's going to be like a 2-minute thing or like a 30-minute thing. Like that Choker 64 that I was playing, that was actually really long. Like that was at least 20 minutes or more.
Which one was this? I'm sorry.
The little Choco 64
Choco
one
64.
that you used. It's that little bird that you used in the top 25 list.
So cute.
Top 5 list.
Little chibi Chocobo.
Yeah, little chibi Choco.
That one I talked about earlier, Silver Slumber, I think it's called. That one I played for like 20 minutes, and I don't think I was near the end. I had just gotten a bow and arrow, like after unlocking other magical attacks and all this other stuff. And it seemed like a pretty full-on, like maybe an hour-long game, probably, which is awesome. And it was really well done. There were some bad camera angles, but it's like the first day of its VR support, so I have to assume that it won't be permanent.
Yeah,
Patty N has a great point here. It says the load times are really short as well.
Oh, it's immediate almost.
Yeah.
Yep.
When there is a load screen, you're like, or a load circle that goes, woo, woo, woo. It's almost like shocking. You're like, wait a minute, I forgot nothing I've done so far has had a load screen. So when they show up, you're like, oh, right, I forgot there's load screens in this thing. It's pretty impressive.
It's wild.
I gotta say, Happy Homer's Arcade mentioned Tiny Quest, and Tiny Quest is one of my favorites because it reminds me. I'm a Spelunker fan. I'm a Spelunky fan, but the game that made me love Spelunky was the game it took inspiration from, Spelunker, which was like you could see a huge chunk of the level on screen, and you're like, your dude is like really, really tiny, and you're just doing like these little things, and that's what Tiny Quest reminds me of. You see a ton of the level, and your guy is super duper tiny, and you're just like going to do all these like little things, and the level doesn't really change. You're just like kind of turning your head to follow him around the level. Tiny Quest is awesome. It would absolutely be like in my next top 5 favorite dreams.
So, I don't know. I think they have updated it since I played it, but when I first played it, it didn't feel very well optimized because when I was looking at it, and this might just be fatigue from having played a bunch of VR games for the last few hours, but like the way that stuff looked, I couldn't really focus on anything and I couldn't concentrate on it. It threw my eyes for a loop, and I kept adjusting it, trying to get it just right, sliding it in and out, moving it around on my face and stuff. But I never hit that sweet spot that was like okay for me to actually play it, because things that are really, really, really tiny and detailed don't exactly always work that well in our headset. So I'm glad that it was working for you. Maybe it's my eyes too. I don't know. Everybody's got different eyes.
It's a little on the blurry side. And if you click this like L1 or R1 to focus on the dude, like if you lose track of where he is, it like does this thing, and like that makes my eyes go cross-eyed. So it's not optimized yet, but I really hope they spend more time with it, because seeing it on the flat screen, it's so crystal clear and beautiful, and then it's kind of fuzzy in the headset, and I was like, oh man, if they can optimize this, it would be one I'd recommend to everybody for sure.
Yeah, I hope they will. It's already in the recommended stuff, so it would behoove them to keep improving it. You got a more tip here.
This is a clarification. I got it. With the $9.99 donation, thank you so much. He says, it's not an announcement, bad wording. He said, can GameCat make an announcement to Brian? He said, I've done something, bot shit, because I believe in the channel. Just excited to support and try and grow this amazing community. It has done so much for me.
What did he buy?
I guess it's a surprise.
Did he buy Dreams? You better buy Dreams.
I will tell you that David Moore has sent me like a physical copy of Job Simulator in the mail, so that I could sell it on eBay.
Those are expensive to sell.
Exactly, and make some money on eBay to help support the channel. He's constantly donating. Obviously, he's one of our newest moderators on the channel, and so he is supporting Without Parole in every fucking possible way you could possibly do it. So thank you, David. You're the best. Well, I don't want to put any other moderators down. You're one of the awesome best. All the game cats are awesome. Let's be fair, but I really appreciate your support.
Claire did say at one point, said that Shu was a big advocate for VR in happening in this game, and yeah, that was huge. He's been a huge advocate for VR in general.
Right.
So we always give him the highest praises, and just what him forcing this game to have it was just more proof. But they also said that she said we have a lot of people in studio who love VR. I joined Sony to work on VR years ago.
Nice.
So she actually joined specifically for VR, and she says Anton K, who helped make the moves and early VR dev stuff, was at Media Molecule, now at Medium. So lots of VR love here. So it really shows, because you can definitely tell when it comes to the maybe small misses with the VR related stuff. It is very minimal, like very, very minimal. We're used to being like, oh, like, why doesn't this work? Or why doesn't it have this? Why doesn't it have that? And that was not really the case here.
Yeah, no, it was above and beyond a lot of stuff that I expected it to be. And the really cool thing is I expected, so as I mentioned earlier, I had like the developer kit 2, I think, for Oculus before the consumer version came out. And I played all these little things that are sort of like in the vein of what Dreams is like. It's like, hey, I made this scene from Spirited Away, and you can go walk around in it and it's all animated and stuff. Or like, hey, I made this block breaker game. It's called Proton Pulse, whatever. But a lot of those didn't work, or they sucked, or they were just really poorly optimized. And it was like pretty much a crapshoot. Like 1 out of 10 games was actually worth playing. This, I think, flips that entirely, where like 7 or 8 out of 10 games that you see in the recommended stuff are probably going to be kind of fun, at least. And if not, just awesome. Like very impressive.
Wait till you see what I'm sitting on right now, and I'm just like, please just flip that VR switch.
What are you sitting on?
I don't know.
Oh, so many different games right now. Resident Evil Project Project Escape was the first one, was like one of the first big ones that I was like, keeping an eye on. And there's so many more that are just more unique and just crazy. And I can't wait for them to, really get it optimized properly and get to experience that. I really think, I'm not going to say, because we have the top 25 list next week. Make sure you tune in. I'm not going to say whether or not I think this is the number one game, but I will say, I think 6 months to a year from now, to me, it's like, how could it not be? When people have been getting more experience, building more games with it, and having the time they need to take advantage of the tools, and possibly Media Molecule updating the game as well with some things. I could definitely see this being possibly like, it's already one of the most important VR games in history to me.
Yeah,
might be the most important.
It really is, because it's, the community gets to kind of shape the direction that what this game can do, where it can go. I think AAA games are still going to be, not just AAA, but even AA, or just really, really big teams working on big VR games, are still going to be very important, because there are like little tiny things that, might be hard to fine tune, or like standardize in Dreams, like physics. I'm trying to think, might be one of them, but there are examples of people.
I've seen incredible physics. Those cheese physics, man, didn't even need to be that good.
I need to see these cheese physics. Yeah. I haven't
it's
witnessed
the
power
guy
of
who made the
physics.
Blade Runner car game, so he knows physics. Like, that car controls very, very well. It feels very good.
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Those
Interesting.
cheese physics. I'll show you.
Dreams
Just search
feels
for
like
the guy that made that other one. You'll find it.
But this is gonna be a hard debate next week, man. A very hard debate.
I'm gonna say, spoiler alert. I think it's not gonna be hard that this is top 5.
Spoilers. Everybody just froze except for me. I don't know what's going on over there. Let's give them a second. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you what the top 25 list next week is going to be. They don't know, but I've taken full control over this.
But
He's at.
he's
Nope.
gone. Oh, are you back?
There he is.
Oh, we're all back.
At
Okay.
least-
There he is.
I was fine. I was taking over the show. I was actually spoiling the top 25 while you guys were gone.
I was spoiling the top 25 while we were gone too. I said it's definitely top 5 material.
I was saying
that got in there. That got in there, Dave. And then you guys froze after that. No. I was just kidding. I'm not actually going to spoil anything. I think the next top 25 debate is going to be insane. There are so many new games that we're going to add to it, and so many old games that I think need revisiting. Drive Club. No, I'm kidding. It's not even on the PlayStation Store anymore. Real quick shout out to, you want to hit me up, Dave?
Oh, absolutely.
K-Panic,
That's
the
it.
Game Cat
Sure.
Dreamer, wow, with the $4.99 donation saying next level, Media Molecule teams with Sony to allow some of these games turn into actual games in the PlayStation Store. Dev kit. Dude, was there a conversation that was happening at some point where they said, yeah, they make these freestanding games available on the store? This was the
The
thing
thing that I love about
I
Media
think it's
Molecule.
speculation.
Well, no, I think they said they're open to the concept, which is what they said about the aim controller too. And this is what I like. If enough people ask them to do something, they're like, yeah, we could probably do that.
Right.
And they do it, which is incredible. Like, that's how VR support kind of came to be. That's how, multiplayer support is going to come to be.
Speaking
And I
of which,
think,
aim support is something they've
aim
been
support.
talking about.
Yeah.
They said, obviously they said, sign our official document. Which, again, no offense to anybody at Media Molecule, I've post that link here. I don't know where it is. I did a Twitter poll. AJ did a Change.org petition. Hopefully, you guys are seeing that and using that as part of your resources to go. How do people really want this? Yes, we do. Everybody that has a PlayStation VR headset wants aim support because first-person shooters in aim. And Dreams are awesome, and using the aim controller just elevates that to an even higher degree. So fingers crossed that you guys do that over at Media Molecule.
There's definitely a lot of demand. I understand that some people, what they're trying to cut out is the people that don't own the game. They want they're classified as internet noise. But at the same time, when nobody knows about it, then that's kind of a different story. It's not exactly fair to be like, well, all you got to do is sign right here, and then like really hide it and like not
Right.
not announce it anywhere. And it's like, oh, well, I guess nobody wanted it. It's like, no, we are screaming from the mountains. Like
I'm
right
sure
now,
they're
like
gonna
aim support, it would be huge. Imagine being able to detail the gun and pick it up and like inspect it. Could save a lot of people time too. Trying to do that, the integration for a lot of these first person shooters, because if there's one question I've been getting asked the most about is like, where are the first person shooters? And I guarantee you, if aim support was in there, like so many people would make more first person shooters just like instantly. I still, plan to make my snowboarding game, by the way.
Yeah.
Nobody's done it yet. Alpine Dream has not been made yet. And I don't know if he's going to do VR or not. So I definitely want to check it out. Try it. I'm going to be starting to learn the tools and stuff here pretty soon and begin my own creations.
Awesome.
Nice.
So,
that's
Novodamus, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Novodamus in the chat says, "Hey Claire, Nintendo employee here. Nothing but love. Great accomplishment by your team. Heart emoji. You love to see it. But also now I can tell people my uncle Novodamus works at Nintendo, and I know it's
Novodamus, you freaking mole. Is that why you're always showing up at my streams getting information?
Yeah.
It's what I got to say, it's really nice to see all the love between different teams, all different studios. Even Nintendo, Sony, whatever. But you go into Dreams, and there's like these tributes to Ghost of Tsushima. They're saying congratulations Sucker Punch on your great accomplishment. And then there's the people who are making Last of Us 2 tributes and stuff in Dreams. It's just great seeing all this love going around. It's awesome.
So, real quick, I want to ask you, Novodamus. I know you guys love to sue people for Mario shit in Dreams. Not you personally. I'm sure you never did that. Do you think someone could get away with Super Maria World? I floated this idea earlier. I think if you just changed it into Maria, do a gender swap. It's an Italian lady, Maria, and she jumps around. She's got to save her boyfriend, Mario, but it's not called Super Mario World, so he's just in there somewhere. But he looks different. He's got a different mustache. Isn't this where get away with it?
Isn't this the genesis of the Great Gianna Sisters? That's exactly where this came from.
I'm not sure. I just came up with it.
It was a Mario clone or Mario ripoff or whatever, and they were then sued by Nintendo, and they were like, oh, no problem, we'll just change the sprite and change the name to Great Gianna Sisters, and now it's like a series. Now it's a thing. So yeah, they beat you by about 30 years. All right, guys, let's talk. I feel like
talk about
anything. We could talk about Dreams all day.
Well, let's do it.
We said what our favorite games were, like listed out, like this is my favorite, this is why. We've talked tangentially about stuff as it connects with certain things we're talking about generally, but I want to hear what you guys think are the top of the pops, the good games that everybody out there should try.
There's a difference between like what I think everyone should try and like what spoke to me.
Okay, well,
like
what spoke
my
to you?
favorite
That's what
was.
I'm asking then. What did you like the most?
Somebody else go first.
Okay, listen.
We don't all have to take turns either. We can just take turns saying one game, and then I'll say one game.
We could just talk over each other, I guess, too. Let's all three of us at the same time just talk about our favorite game.
Yeah.
No? That would be funny. No, I guess it wouldn't be. But then instead we'll take turns. And again, I think AJ is right. We're going to be making videos of the best of the best, and things that we think you need to check out. And so I don't know if I have like the best of the best at my fingertips
for now.
But one of the things I found was was it called Shrek Hunt, which I think was actually a derivative of like some other non-VR horror game, and it's crazy because when people start mixing and remixing games, I get really nervous about talking about the remixed version and then not giving credit to the original version by the original creator, and so that's something I'm trying to be very, very conscious of. And I can't remember what the original game that Shrek Hunt was based off of, but here you're walking around and you like hold one button to hold up a lantern, and you walk and you find a radio, you hold up the radio. It's all in first person, and you hold up the radio and it works kind of like Silent Hill, I think, where it's like it makes noise if Shrek's close to you. Please, anyone in the chat who's played the original one, let me know what it's called. And it's like it's a game about fucking Shrek, and it's creepy as all hell. And I'm like scared that Shrek's gonna come kill me. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's like that's one of those things where you're like, I didn't want to play this because it had a crappy thumbnail, it had a stupid name, and it's about Shrek. And then I played it and I was like, why am I like freaking out that Shrek's gonna come kill me? Like that's mind blown. Absolute mind blown.
Everything's better in VR.
And it's real simple.
Who's
That's
that?
Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat, with the $5 donation, saying 3D rudder movement around Dream's environment as you sculpt would be friggin' amazing. Freedom! I'm assuming that's a Rage Against the Machine reference.
Oh, it could be that freedom. What's that one? Freedom.
No
Or
idea.
That's some other song. I don't know.
No idea.
I won't
no
sing
idea.
anymore on the stream.
Thank you.
Guarantee I will not.
I don't guarantee that. Thank you so much, Joe Grover, for the generous donation. You're awesome.
So, Brian, what's your first one? You said Shrek Hunt. Okay, so I think we've already talked about Turbulence and Tectonic a lot, but those are all no-brainers for all of us. If you see those games in your lineup, go click them, go play them. They are very, very good. Jump Space Reactor is one that AJ and I were both really into. Brian, did you get a chance to play Jump Space?
Is this the kind of parkour one?
Yeah.
It's it looks a lot like it's got like a futuristic like Tron aesthetic, but it's got like sliding on the walls and there's bounce pads and stuff, and it's pretty challenging. And you really get that pit of your stomach feeling of being high up in the air, because when you fall, I mean, anything you do wrong, you fall is gonna make you go. Whoa. But it was a pretty simple game, but it's very engaging, I thought, and that's one of my top ones. Actually, the guy who created that, this dude Dopefish, DOEP Fish. Funny enough, I ended up making music for the backgrounds of my Dreams video in a thing that he created that I didn't realize he created. Nice. And then the outro was a cool music thing that I liked too, called Pendulous, where you swing this pendulum around and it creates music, like it just like generates music based on what it hits in the sort of random swing of the pendulum after you give it a push. And it's really interesting. And I used it as my outro. He made that too. So the guy who made this jumping around game has also made all kinds of other stuff. And it really goes to show like these creators have so much variety in what they're interested in making that like you're not going to see the same game over and over again from the same creator. And that's pretty cool. I like that.
Wait, was that George Michael you were singing earlier? Because now I know the song.
I don't know.
I know.
There's two tips. I don't know what to do.
It's leaving my body. No! Help!
The
Who's that?
first one comes to us from ET2K9 now. The $5 donation saying, here's to dreams coming true. That is probably, I should rename the entire GamesCast Live, that statement. Dreams do come true. Indeed. Thank you very much for the $5 donation. Also shout out to
This is not fair!
Red Rovers and Joe Grover right over the effing Game Cat. $2 donation. Ringo says, hey man, is that Freedom Rock? Well, turn it up. You guys remember that commercial, right?
Yeah. So for my pick, I'm going to have to go with this really unique one. There's so many. Let me just say, I love so many of these. I can't wait to do more of these top lists because I'm just finding amazing new ones every single day. But this one that spoke to me as somebody who started video games with like retro NES, like a Nintendo Entertainment System, I have to give some love to Choco 64 Beyond Reality, which I just I'm about to post in the chat. That's the name of it. But it is it's just if you love Nintendo games, it's even got some Sega references in there. But it kind of takes the Mario world, and then it's like basically a platformer, but it kind of takes the Mario world, but you see it blown up and like visualized in this crazy new way that you just couldn't experience without VR. And so it takes like retro gaming and VR gaming and just mashes it together, and it really just blew my mind as it goes together. But it's fantastic.
I haven't tried that one yet. I got to check that out tonight.
It's crazy.
Talking about Dreams, I'm going to go play Dreams so we can talk about more Dreams later.
Yes. Yeah.
Project Genesis in the chat says you guys should try out Jeffrey Mann's creations in VR. I believe one of you guys played one of his creations already for a top 5. I forget which one, but I remember
it's a right at Altopoulos. That's the guy who made it.
Thank you.
That's him. Okay, that made it in Dave's list and my list, and of course it only made it in my list because AJ pointed it out to me.
And I think we both said, AJ and I, we talked about this. That was like one of the most impressive things, if not the most impressive thing that I saw in Dreams yesterday.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. I didn't know that you could do shit like that. I
still want that first person view, but that was unbelievable. The draw distance that you were able to see, the detail, the fine detail that you're able to see in that makes absolute no sense to me at all. I cannot believe that is a thing. Brian, when Brian played it, I was like, Brian, you have to play this. You have to play this. He calls me back later and he goes, and the first thing he says is, all right, so that was cool to see what PS5 looks like in VR.
I mean, it's
funny. Actually, speaking of that, somebody remade the PS5 Unreal Engine demo, reveal thing. It's called Adventure Awaits. They have a stupid part where it puts you on this path that kind of flies around very awkwardly, but then you can explore it yourself afterwards, and it looks gorgeous. Like they recreated that whole sort of a terracotta soldier thing, going through the cave when the rocks are crumbling down. It's really good. You should check that one out.
Yeah, that was fun to do. That was one of the earlier ones I saw during my launch stream, and it was cool. It was cool like that. But see, that was like that gave me a sense of look at the scale that you can create in Dreams. Like look, it's the entire Unreal Engine 5 demo. It's like it goes from the beginning, the caves, to this, to that, to whatever, and then the canyon, which is gigantic, and you can just like kind of go wherever you want. I was like, wow.
Beyond. The part that it shows you can just keep going out there.
Right.
The thing that blew me away about that is seems like a minor thing, but it's really not. A lot of VR games that are released like for money, the background off in the distance is like a JPEG wrapped around the world, and you can't go to that mountain. You can't go see that mountain. In that stage, that's a real mountain that they built that if you just go far enough this way, you could get on top of the fucking mountain. It adds something that you don't really think about too much, but it's not a static background. It's a real thing that's rendered there that you can go see. And that's a huge elevation just of the idea of like what's wrapped around your horizon of the world. Because I've played so many VR games that, like I said, we paid money for, where you can tell they just wrapped some low quality image around the corner of it. And you're just like, this looks like shit. Yeah. So it's in so many ways, every time we talk about something new, I have something new that's good to say about it that I just realized that I want to talk about.
I know. I love how I'm getting, as we're doing this too, I'm getting messages on I'm getting notifications for comments on my the Resident Evil Project Escape thing. This person says he probably has no idea I'm over on this channel streaming right now, but he says I crapped myself when playing this in VR. Somebody else said this was so scary I had to close it after the first generator. It's so funny, and I'm just like getting pinged right now. It's just funny to see the reactions.
Yeah. So my next list already is looking pretty exciting. I've already got some key things that I want to put on it, but I do want to say that this is we can we go back to Something Strange, because Something Strange,
that was really good.
We mentioned it and then really go into detail about it, and so it sets it up. It's a Ghostbusters inspired horror game, technically horror experience.
Yeah.
And you go in, you can flip on and off all the light switches, and it's really well done to the point where like you walk into a room, you walk around, it's really dark, things are creepy. The poster has some red eyes on it, and this is when I realized how important audio is in dreams, because there's like whispering and just creepy music and stuff playing the entire time. Where at first I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that this was a Ghostbusters thing. I just thought it was a spooky game on its own, and then gradually it started doing the Ghostbusters things. But you get into that room, one of the bedroom, you turn on, you walk around, nothing's happening, and then you go turn on the light, and you find the key. You grab the key, you turn around, and like you see this thing pop up from behind the bed, like a fucking possessed teddy bear or something. And you're just like, oh shit, what's going on? The closet doors start to open, and you're like, what the fuck's gonna come out of this, right? And it's just like it's just really, really well done, and it's just fucking bizarre, man. Just really bizarre.
The lighting, man. See, that's the thing.
Oh my God, the lighting
much,
is so good.
The lighting in general, just in all of the ability to create this dynamic lighting and stuff is amazing. But yeah, the lighting
textures that you can work with too. Like, there's this one, I can't remember what it's called.
Sacred VR.
Sacred. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about.
There's this one that you can go to. It's like a visualizer. It's like a music video, immersive music video for 6 different songs. You can skip through them. There's one that has this undulating shape in front of you that's very shiny. And it looks first of all, that looks incredible. But
it looks like freaking 4K photorealistic.
No, it looks insanely good. And it also feels like you're staring into something from like Event Horizon or some shit. Like it's just like, but then around you, these rings start forming and they're different colors, but they have this fur almost, and it's like billowing. And it just looks in a texture way, like incredible, just incredible. Somebody actually was joking that Paper Beast was made in dreams. But to be honest, looking at the way some of these things flow, like
it looks better, man.
It's not a crazy thing to say something like that, because the fine details, the undulation of grass, the wind blowing through stuff, these things are really, really well done, even in VR. Not just flat, like they look really goddamn good. Dude,
with Paper Beast, it's right down to the manipulation with your imp. Like it has the same kind of grab it with the line and then pull mechanic. It's Paper Beast feels like it was made in dreams, and that's not that's not a negative.
That's
statement.
Not a knock on any. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're gonna have to expand this list to maybe more than 5, or we're gonna have to really spread it out. Because there's just too many at this point. And, by the time, if we do 5 a week, then by the time we do the next 5 that we want to do, people have already played the ones that we've done it. So we'll see what happens. But I can't wait, man. This is day 1. And if this is anything like the non-VR launch, then there is a hell of a thing ahead of us for this. And it's just going to be amazing.
One thing I want to say, Brian, I don't know if you saw my top 10 yet, or if we didn't. Okay, so did you try the Ang Project minigames? Because I have an inkling that you like Avatar, right?
Yeah.
You like Avatar. Did you try the Ang Project minigames?
I did. Did
you not like
it was great.
The sledding? Okay, cool. Yeah. I would recommend to people. I assume there are people in the chat who like Avatar, because it's a hugely popular series. It just came back on Netflix. It's like buzzing right now. But there's like a sledding stage and there's a hang glider stage. And both of them are really well realized. I really like the sledding one, actually. There's a few different areas. You can die pretty easily. Like there's some challenge with the going through the tunnels when you start kind of going up the sides and stuff.
Dave, what was the game that was just playing? I'm so sorry. The one it just went away. It was like the.
I wasn't looking at the stream. Tell me what it looked like.
It was like sort of like an RPG-ish looking thing. It was a kind of a platformer, but RPG-ish feeling, running around this town. It sucks because
it might have been
something of light, maybe, or a tale of something. Fuck. If anyone in the chat knows,
I'll find it.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but then I didn't realize that it was going to end so quickly. Because I had played it.
Video I sent you, or the second video.
Second video. It's right before the Spyro game. So I've been looking for this game. Because it was one of the first ones I streamed, and I've been looking for it, and it's because it's really kind of incredible, just how well it's done.
Okay, I'm looking. You said it's right before the Griffin.
Right before the Griffin Spyro invitation.
Oh, I don't remember that. It's like Cloud something. I can find it in the stream. Hold on.
All right.
It's Tales of the Sky. Tales of the Sky.
That's it.
Tales of the Sky.
That is such a good one, man. That is such a good one. It felt so complete and well done. Like, I highly recommend that to people.
The only thing I'll say is I don't like the strong camera shifts.
Sure.
They have a lot of at the beginning, like whooshunk with the camera, and that's the stuff that does throw my stomach off a little bit. I think as people keep optimizing, there'll be less of those. And I'm curious. I don't know if the dev is still in the chat, but can you set up a different camera pan, different camera angle for VR versus flat? Or does anybody, any creator in the chat?
Yeah, you can. That was Clever Trev was telling us that you can change you go into like the character's logic, and then you can change it if you want it from the character. You can change the logic from there.
Well, so when you have a third person camera shift, you can program in don't do this in VR, do this in VR instead for the camera.
Oh, like to counter it.
Like in either or. So like
Going
if
by
you're
the
on flat, keep with this one. If you're on VR, use this angle instead.
Gotcha.
It's less.
Well, so
I
a
think
lot
you can program
games
it differently between VR and flat. Yeah,
I've seen a lot of games that have been updated, and at the very beginning, you select if you're playing in VR or non-VR. So even though Dreams realizes that you're playing in VR, there must be the creator was able to say, I want here are your VR options and here's your flat screen options.
Here's how you do it. I just figured it out in my head. So you can have like a map where it's like this part goes to this part. If you select this, there's like a branch. Because if you go back to a game that you've been playing, you can look at the map of it sometimes, and it's separated into what?
She answered your question.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. You can detect comfort mode and stuff and change logic. Well, what I've seen some people do, maybe not using that, is like you set up one version of a thing here and one version of a thing here. It's a duplicate of the same, but this one's VR and this one's not, and it's a branching path from what you pick. You'll understand when you guys see Dreams and you click on the map of somebody's creation. It's kind of interesting to look at because a lot of them are made up of smaller creations linked together in a blob. Anyways, AJ, seems like you want to do something.
I gotta get this off my chest. It's so funny. You guys know Race the Sun, right? The cheap, one of the game cats, Sploder99, made Chase the Sun.
Saw that.
And it's the same thing. That's made by one of the game cats.
That's awesome.
But it has like a first person view and it's better
Nice.
than the original game. Yeah. I just had to point that out. It's so funny.
Nice. The original one was tough to play in first person mode because I wanted to see the extent of my wings or whatever it's called. So yeah, I saw that and I don't think I checked it out yet. So I need to try that, especially if it's made by one of you cats out there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, awesome, man.
All right, listen, we haven't even talked about sales. Yeah, you guys want to blast through the sales real quick that are on the PlayStation Store?
Yeah. Just to reiterate before we leave Dreams, buy it. If you didn't get that yet, buy it. It's incredible. This is like one of the most exciting things I've ever played in my life.
Absolutely. And it's actually on sale right now on the store. We'll start with that one. Dreams is $29.99 right now. It's usually only $40. I bought it full price anyways, but
it's worth that.
Yeah, it is absolutely worth it. This game is like infinitely playable. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be just better stuff every single day. And it's something you just really don't want to miss out on. $29.99. It's a steal. Get it.
Absolutely.
I think that's a thumbs up from all three of us.
Yeah, big two thumbs up, 6 thumbs from everybody, or collectively. Yeah. K-Panic, before we get into the sales, has a little bit to say here.
You can't bleed me anymore. Help!
$5 donation. And he says, Brian, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to create VR World's Luge as good as it could have been. Do you choose to accept it? That tip will self-destruct in 5.
Yeah, I'll say yes, but I'm going to make it horror themed because I'm not making anything unless it's horror themed. It's going to be horror themed luge. Rush of Blood 2. You're careening down a highway at fucking 200 miles an hour, and then and spirits are attacking you. That's how Rush of Blood 2 is going to go down.
Yeah, Rush of Blood 2, Death Luge.
Right.
I like it.
Seriously.
So we also have Arizona Sunshine is on sale for $14.79. I'm actually going to say no.
$14.79.
Oh, hold on. Let's establish what we're doing here for people who just tuned in because we kind of unceremoniously dropped into that. We're going to list all the sales of all the games. There's a bunch of games on sale right now, and then we're going to say buy it or don't buy it. A lot of these on a scan, I'm going to say probably you're going to want to buy a lot of these, but we'll get into it. Yeah. So AJ started with Arizona Sunshine, and what is it? $14.79.
$14.79 right now.
Yep. Every time Arizona Sunshine drops below $15, I say absolutely. It's nothing special. It's fun with the aim controller. It's fun with the move controllers. But it's
Co-op too is fun.
Yep,
We don't
co-op.
have to agree. This works a lot like American Idol.
Yeah.
Somebody can get outvoted.
Yeah, trust me.
Yes.
Anyone who says no go on Arizona Sunshine, I'm not going to disagree with them. But for really a mindless zombie shooting gallery, that lasts for
bad.
hours. And I think the mineshaft mine areas are really good. I shouldn't talk so much about these things. We have a long way to go. For me, it's a thumbs up.
And just to clear all this up, the other three that we have listed right after this are DLCs and deluxe editions and deluxe upgrades. Those are all on sale too. You don't need to know the specific prices; they're just all on sale. So next
Grab
one is
them while they're cheap.
Astro.
Wait, what was your thumbs up or thumbs down, Dave?
For $15, the base game, I think it's fine. That's
All right,
it's like
I'm outvoted.
Yeah,
2-1.
Astrobot Rescue Mission for $9.99. I don't think there's any
Jesus.
debate. Thumbs up, straight up.
One of the
all
best
way up.
PSVR games ever made.
$10, get out of here.
Right, if
That's
anyone-
like $1 an hour. One of the best games ever.
If anyone doesn't know, Astrobot launched at $40. So the fact that it's on sale from its new price of $20 down to half price to $10, this is like 1/4 the price it was at launch. One of the best games on PlayStation VR. Incredible.
Which is a perfect segue into Blood and Truth, because that is now $40, or no, it's now $20 down from its $40 price on sale. So it's going the same way that Astrobot is, and I wouldn't be surprised if one day we see it for $10 on sale from $20. Same
I'm
way
going
Astrobot
to
is.
give Blood and
thumbs up
Truth
for
a
20.
thumbs up.
Yes.
That is absolutely. We also got it. You didn't get this tip, right,
Scott Jestico, that's all you.
Brian? It's all you.
Oh, it's all me.
Nope.
Well, then it's the $9.99 pounds, because I know my pounds versus euros. From Scott Jesco says, PSN Harry Feller here. I think we're all friends with him at this point, I hope. Here at work, just one more shift, then I'm off for 17 nights. Can't wait to play everyone's VR dreams and play online with all the Game Cats for the first time ever. Hashtag PSVR Game Cat for life. Dude, anyone who's looking to play with some of the cats, some of the awesome viewers of PSVR without parole, and of course us, make sure you hit us up on Discord. The link is in the description. And I mean, there's multiplayer meetups there. This is where everybody hangs out. It's so easy to get a game going. So if you want to play online with some cool ass kids, I say kids, but I'm like 40. Hit us up over there, man. Hit us up.
Absolutely.
Next, what's next, Dave?
Next up, we got Bravo Team. Oh, a stinker at any price. $10. Pass.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
Bravo team.
Two thumbs down. I hate this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not good. Next up is actually a decent game and a very good price for this one. Deracine. $6.59. If you've ever been interested at all in Deracine, that's a steal. I mean, this is not a little snippet of a game. This is like it's going to take you a few hours to get through this mystery and unlock everything that's going on here.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. And
I haven't
something
even
weird
finished it
from
yet, but-
software.
Not a game for
haven't-
everybody, right? It's
For sure.
it's very slow paced. It's like it really takes from old school point and click adventures. It's really like, I mean, it could put you to sleep because of its overall tone. But I love this game at full price, and for $6.50 or whatever the fuck it is, absolutely pick this thing up.
Sirens on Brian's end.
I haven't even
always.
apparently gotten to the good part in this game, so I'm very excited to get back to this game eventually.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not for everybody, but for the people who it is for, I've heard people say this is like one of their favorite, if not their favorite, PSVR game. There's people out there who love this fucking thing.
Yeah,
So-
it's tough, man. It's tough to sell people on it who don't like it, but for this price, you can take a risk on it. Like when it was launched at $40, I could see people being disappointed that they spent a lot of money on something they didn't like. $6.50, check it out. You might really, really enjoy it.
God, this list has so many fucking no-brainers in it. Dirt Rally VR bundle, $8.99.
Oh.
Regular price, $30. That is an entire racing game with a lot of depth and complexity. And the whole thing's in VR every last second, every last drop of it. $8.99, get out of my face. It's incredible. Buy it.
How much was the VR patch at launch? Because I remember buying this physically before the VR patch came out.
It's like $20. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I think it was
It
$20
was like
patch.
70, wasn't it like 70, 80 bucks for the bundle? 70 bucks for
man.
the bundle?
I think I bought the physical game before the patch came out for $60, brand new, and then I think I paid $20 for the patch. I paid $80 for this game, and you're getting it for a tenth of the price. It's a
And it was
no-brainer.
worth
It's
it.
awesome.
It was worth it at $80.
It
too.
was
This game
worth it.
It is really hardcore though. If you don't like a challenge,
Well,
it's like the only person I would say maybe not.
Here's what I'll say. I'm actually not great at games that challenge you. I usually give up, to be honest, or I change the difficulty. Because I like to play games for fun, and if I realize I'm sucking, I don't always have the time to devote to one game to get good at that game. I want to play other stuff too. But with Dirt Rally, it's hard, but it helps you play it. It tells you what to do. It says the next turn is going to be a 4 left hard, and eventually you know what that means. And it's just like, somebody orders a burger, you make a burger. If you work in a burger shop, you know how to make a burger off the top of your head at a certain point. That hard left, 4 becomes just second nature, and I know what they mean. So it's tough, but you can learn it in a way that makes it so it's not even challenging. It's just like paint by numbers, essentially, which made it easy for me to get good at. But yeah, no, play it. Next one is
now I want a burger. Fuck.
I want a burger too, actually.
Make me a burger.
I think if there was one game of this entire sale you had to buy right now that you didn't have, it would have to be Dreams for $29.99.
$29.99. Incredible price.
Never been a better time to buy this.
I thought we started with the list with this.
We did, but we're doing it twice just to remind people.
6 thumbs up.
6 thumbs.
Tornado's got 2 paws up in the air. She's like, yes, definitely buy this.
Possibly the most important game in this sale right now.
Yes. And then we've got Everybody's Golf VR for $14.99. That's 50% off.
Yes.
Good one. $15. Absolutely.
No multiplayer, no AI, single player tournament.
Yeah.
It's $15. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun.
Really strange it never got multiplayer support, but man, if you just want to like kick back and go like practice golf. Like I feel like I got better at real golf by playing this in virtual reality. I haven't played real golf since I was like 10, so I don't know if that's the case or not.
How do you know if you got better or not?
I don't. But
he has the confidence, and confidence is the key. Confidence is the first step in getting better at anything.
Okay, well then,
of course.
So it's a thumbs up. Are we all in agreement?
Thumbs up.
$15.
Thumbs up.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, here we go, baby. Farpoint for $9.99. If you have a name controller, you should already have Farpoint. If you're planning on picking up a name controller, get this Farpoint. Hopefully, you already have this to some degree. Yeah, there's actually I didn't retweet it because but it was there's a Farpoint bundle with the aim right now. It's $120 right now.
Oof.
Yeah, but I think that's just kind of how everything is right now. I think aim controllers and stuff are a little bit more expensive than usual.
Aims are hard to find for sure.
Yeah, so that would probably be if you're able to do that and get an aim. I don't know. There might be a better deal somewhere else.
AJ, you said you hope everyone already has this already.
Can I stop the whole show for a second? Sorry. I was just looking around on the In Dreams website just for a second, and the guy who made the Blade Runner thing, A Trip at Altopolis, just while we were doing this, flipped over his Wipeout game.
Oh shit!
It's in VR now, and this game has been played flat screen 25,000 times and has 8,000 thumbs up.
Nice.
And he
is
just
it first
made
person,
it.
Though?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out as soon as the stream is over. Guys, go check it out. Slide Out 3019 just dropped.
Slide Out. I've been waiting on that.
It's going to be really good, I think.
All right. Excellent. For anyone who just got a PSVR headset, I know there's a lot of cats out there who just picked one up recently because it's never been a better time to get one, as I mentioned in my top 5 reasons to buy a PlayStation VR in 2020. So if you don't have Farpoint, absolutely get the aim controller. Get this on sale, $10. Definitely thumbs up from all of us. What's next?
Fireball Zero Hour. Once again, if you got the aim controller, buy it. Even if you don't think you like online multiplayer games, play with some of the game cats. You might change your mind. This is a fun one, and it's all about working together and being cooperative, and nobody is a dick. So it's very fun to play with people. I like to do that a few times a week with the game cats.
Spoiler: this is definitely still a top 5 PSVR game for me.
Very good game.
I mean, the top 5 spoiler is getting really crowded. I think there's too many. There's too many top 5 games to fit in 5 spaces. That's a spoiler for next week.
I will make some space. I will make some space.
Yeah, I bet. Just down some laxatives and make some space for the next round. All right,
Gran Turismo Sport for $11.99.
Dave's freaking out.
Somebody in chat just said that he's also the guy who made that X-Wing game that I was talking about earlier that I liked.
Nice.
He also made the demo of To the Top. Did you guys? This guy is incredible.
To the Top was really good. I thought that.
What's his name? Which one is it?
Joffrey, man. I'm gonna paste this in the chat. So these people here can see this because this is a follower that you need to, or this is a guy that you need.
Who is it? Who is it, Dave?
Joffrey
Man,
Man.
the same guy who made Blade Runner and everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying somebody in the chat. Okay.
What?
He made Blade Runner, Name
I
of the
know-
Cheese, Space Wars, Slide Out,
I gotta click on.
To the Top.
To the
He's-
Top's interesting because
I
To the
see-
Top actually uses the like the great Gianna sisters mechanic of hitting like I think R1 or something to like switch the world from like green to purple, and then like the and then like platforms will move and like twist and turn and stuff to like it's only one short level, but apparently they're working on a 10 level full game for it.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
Okay.
it's weird. That it's called To the Top because we have a PlayStation VR game called To the Top, and there's no
They must not
correlation
be
between the
aware
two
of it.
things. Yeah,
I think they're probably just not aware of it, or else they wouldn't have named it that.
right.
Get out of here!
This is for Richard Bach. How the fuck do we pronounce his last name?
Bucky?
Baki? All right. I've seen it 1,000 times, and I've always been like, Bakwai? Shout out for $5 Australian, Richard. He says, if any Americans want to save more money, buy the games in the AU store because our Aussie dollar is weak. Are all these sales cross region?
This is probably a U.S. sale. There's probably different games on sale over there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we
But
go.
always worth checking out the different regions because 100% there's always good deals going on. And are all the sales we're talking about, are they PlayStation Plus, AJ, or are these just flat out sales for everybody?
This is a summer sale.
So for everybody?
Yeah, it should be for everyone. I was looking because I see Project Genesis in the chat, and I was like, I'm subscribed to him. I was trying to see why. I subscribed to you a week ago. What's up, dude? For his Dreams PS5 Let's Talk video. Does lots of Dreams content. I knew I saw you from somewhere. I had to figure out why though. But
All right, so
good stuff. All right,
next
so,
up on our sale list here, AJ, what do we got?
did we do Gran Turismo Sport yet?
We got
That's the next one.
We didn't finish it.
Okay, Gran Turismo Sport is $11.99.
Thumbs up.
I'd say yes. Yes,
Absolutely buy that game. It's
I
very
love that
Absolutely.
game. Oh,
They
here
got
you
it
go,
so
Brian.
What happened?
Immortal Legacy, the Jade Cipher for $9.99.
This is my pick of the week for sales. Immortal Legacy is unabashedly one of my favorite PlayStation VR games. Absolutely love it, despite any of its weaknesses. 100%, $10, two thumbs
Couple
up.
tiny weaknesses.
Whatever, nothing crazy, right?
No. Yeah, it's a yes from me. Yes from Brian. Dave is no from Dave. So you got
I'm not saying
2 out of 3.
I'm saying
That's how this
maybe-
works, Dave. That's
maybe not. Like I didn't like it that much. I didn't like
you didn't
playing
like it
it
for
enough.
$10.
I don't think I had enough fun with it to want to play it for any price. It was weird. It had some fun quirks. I'm glad that we know
beaten it
about.
4 times, and I've got the
Yeah,
platinum
4 times.
trophy.
Yeah,
I know. I just got the
didn't like
platinum.
it.
I'm so happy I got the platinum. It was so much fun.
But
Yeah.
everybody says it's good. So
It's one of those. I guess it just
Yeah,
speaks
yeah,
to a
play
certain
over there.
type person, but so 2 out of 3 for that one. Monsters of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15, $14.99.
Too much. $8.
It's
It's
tough,
an $8
man.
game.
I kind of agree. It's because it's not a very good fishing game, and it's not a very good Final Fantasy game.
There's so many goddamn loading screens.
The loading screens
because
are-
you're loading into something totally fan servicey and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even play Final Fantasy 15, so I'm just like I don't know who these characters are. I don't give a shit. I came here to fish and shoot a crossbow at some fucking Final Fantasy monster, not to talk to this dumbass for
Right.
10 minutes.
I actually like this game,
I know you do.
but
What do you think for
it
15
wasn't.
bucks?
It wasn't because I bought it for $15 and I actually liked it. But I have deep like Final Fantasy nostalgia that it was like not Final Fantasy 15. I actually didn't like that game at all. But I have like other Final Fantasy stuff that I'm tied to, and because of that, I kind of liked it. It's okay. It also has metal, so if you like Final Fantasy old school and metal, this has just enough to say yes on the $15 scale.
But if you want a good fishing game, please buy Catch and Release first.
Catch and Release
That's
is much
the
better.
only really, really good fishing game that we have.
Yes. All right. So you guys said no. I said I'll say yes, just because you guys already said no.
Real quick, very important. Johnny No Pockets, that game cat. Rhino says, anyone else get completely lost in those damn caves in Immortal Legacy? Dude, at the beginning of the caves, you actually, the pilot that's hanging down from the plane is holding a compass. You have to pick up the compass to continue. So I know you have it in your inventory. Just like shaking the guns to reload them, you shake the compass to open it, and it always tells you which direction to go. No one should get lost in the caves, but no one knows how to open the compass. So it's super easy to get through that section. Really easy.
I beat the game twice before knowing that.
Yeah, I had to tell you.
You did tell me. That's like one of the 3 tips I've gotten from you, which are usually really good. All right, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, $19.99. This goes with all the DLC.
You don't have this already? Buy it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? $20, get it. The DLC too. I didn't mean to do that, but actually we have a tip.
Go play Project Resist. I keep wanting to say Project Resistance, Project Escape and Dreams in VR, and let that be a warm up for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
So Amplify, the Game Cat, $2 tip, says if you can only get one, Dirt Rally or GT Sport. I already answered in the chat. What do you guys think?
I think Dirt Rally.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. It's full game every single thing.
Dirt Rally or GT Sport. They're both cheap. You should probably have them both, but I say Dirt Rally if you're only getting one.
If you're only getting one, I'm going to say Gran Turismo.
Yeah, you've spent a ton of time in Gran Turismo. I respect that.
My thing is, if you want to drive cars that you recognize and seem cool and fancy, and you're like, oh, I'm in a fucking Maserati, bro. Like, I'm driving a Maserati. I got the interior right here. I'm looking inside its interior. That's the GT Sport lane, because it's.
I think that's.
I don't think that's. You think that's what, reductive or?
No, I like the physics. I'm not like, ooh, I'm in this car.
Oh, if we're talking about physics, I mean, Dirt Rally is way more fun in terms of physics. The physics in Dirt Rally are wild. They're awesome. GT, you're always going flat on a whole thing. You never bounce up.
I don't think anything. Look, I know we kind of stand on different sides on this. You know.
No, but what I said in the chat is this, and this is absolutely not false, and you can't even argue with this. If you don't care about this is a fancy car that is cool to drive, Dirt Rally is a good one for you, because there's nothing about the specific cars where you're like, oh, I'm glad I unlocked this one, because it's like some
they're all the
fantasy
same
car that's like a concept car that only exists. They made 2 of ever in the world, and it's all crazy and shit. Like, Gran Turismo has real cars that people get excited about, and if you're into that, then obviously it's a better pick, because that is a big frog.
Savage McCabbage says GT over Dirt if you're flat screening. I don't play flat screen. I've got about 20 hours in just VR alone in Gran Turismo.
The chat is split entirely on this one, so I say we move on, because it's already been 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
So,
all right.
Resident Evil 7, by the way, I take it back. Immortal Legacy, I take it back. Resident Evil 7 for $20 with all the DLC is the best value you can probably get on the PlayStation Store right now.
I knew you were going to go back on that. When you said that, I was like, we haven't gotten to Resident Evil 7 yet.
Yeah, no, I was joking. I mean, I always pimp up Immortal Legacy much more than it should be. But dude, Resident Evil 7, probably my favorite game of all time when played in VR, and the DLC is pretty killer. It's the best deal going for sure.
All right, so we're in the home stretch, and these all can be done very quickly. This is the lightning round, guys. 4 left to go in the sale.
Okay.
Sports Bar VR, $3.99.
No,
that is
it's a great price, but no.
It's a great price, but I don't like the game. Stifled, $4.99. That's a no.
No, not a bad price, but no.
For $5, I thought it was kind of fun. So I'm gonna say yes, only for $5.
Tilt Brush, $14.99, down from $19.99. It's okay. It's a good application. Tilt Brush is cool.
I wasted $20. Fuck you, Tilt Brush.
I mean, you wasted $20.
I played it for like 5 seconds.
That's on you. That's not because the app sucks.
It's with Dreams, everything seems irrelevant now, and so I say no. There's no point in it. Cool Painter is out. Cool Painter is irrelevant now. Tilt Brush is irrelevant. Get Dreams, and that's everything you need.
Hold on. No. Tilt Brush is something that you can put your mom in, and she can make a 3D painting in 10 seconds.
I'm not rating this for my mom. I'm rating this for gamers, and I'm rating this for myself.
But you're being flippant here. What I'm saying is actually this is a thing. Not everybody is gonna be up to getting into Dreams, going through hours of tutorials just to paint a little thing. So it doesn't satisfy that exactly. If you just want to hop in and create a quick sculpture or painting or something like that, Tilt Brush is actually
wouldn't that take some practice and learning and tutorials and stuff though to be able to actually make something that looks really good?
There's no tutorials in Tilt Brush, motherfucker. What I'm
saying is
wouldn't
that take
This is the slowest speed round I've ever been a part of. Thumbs down. Dave says thumbs up. AJ says thumbs down. We move on to the next one. What's the next one, guys?
Track left. $1.99. No, never
Two
buy
thumbs
it.
down.
Two thumbs down. No.
I don't know why you guys hate on Tilbrush so much, but anyways, that's the end of the show, guys.
I'm
Thank
just
you so
kidding
much
around.
for tuning in.
I don't hate
It's been
Tilbrush. I
3
just
hours. We got through the sale. We're done. We've talked about it. See you later.
Yeah, guys,
Right.
thank you. Yeah, thank you guys so much for whoops, crap. Of course I'm trying to get this show fucking done with. I'm screwing things up. Dave's already fucking gone. So all right. So since Dave's gone, I want to thank all the cats out there, man. Thank you to everybody who hung out and watched this show. It's epic 3-hour adventure, Gamescast Live. Also want to make sure remind everyone to go subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. Hopefully, if you already subscribed here, please, PSVR Without Parole. Hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparolegames if you like what you see. There he is. And of course, join the Discord. The link is in the description. Shout out to, again, everyone who donated, everyone who was in the chat, and again, everybody out there who didn't say a fucking word and just kicked back, enjoyed the show. We love you all. And of course, shout out to our amazing moderators who keep this fucking shit running, so I don't have to. That's it, guys. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. My name's Brian. This was PSVR Gamescast Live. 3 hours, and we're out.
And I think we should sign off by saying, "Sweet dreams, everyone."
No.
Sweet dreams.
The cat's up. Let's say goodbye, everyone.
That's all right. So I did play this amazing random ass game. A good example. There's one called Monsterland.
Yeah.
And it's basically like the Disney. It's like the Disney theme park. You know the Disney Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should know what the Disney Castle looks like. But it has these it looks like the Disney Castle in the background, and it has these giant mutant rotten meat people that are like huge, and they're like ogre-ish and stuff. And it's got 20 of them. It's got 20. I don't know. It's got 20 of them coming towards you, and as they're coming towards you, it's going da na 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 na, and it's playing this thing, and I'm like, welcome to dreams. This is what dreams is all about, is just the contrast between the thing. Anyways, I want to say thank you to Dave Station VR in the chat, Johnny Rypop VR, Johnny Rypop the Stray Cat, Nick Mulo, our trusty moderators. At Most VR says, good shit, guys, off the dreams. Hell yeah, we're right behind you, man. Donatello, thank you so much for the donations. Delirium True, Cheese Physics, Patty N.
Cheese Physics.
Any of you guys planning on streaming? Patty N's been asking us if any of us is streaming. I'm a little dreamed out. Yeah.
Well,
but
so
I'm
they both streamed. AJ, you streamed twice already. I only streamed once so far, so I might do it again tonight after eating some.
Keep an eye on Dave Station VR, Patty. Scheme KOS. Everyone should be required to own dreams by law. I agree. Let's make it a law. David, what's up? Much love to you back, man. Javier tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Guys on fist bump to you. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground, Dave Station, Game Cat. Sweet dreams, everyone. Happy Homer's Game Cat Arcade. Happy dreaming. Dark Neutral. Great stream. Thank you, sir. You got cold yogurt.
You better read what Nick Mulo just said. He made you a hashtag.
Hashtag I beat the meat. That's right.
Hashtag he beats the meat.
Blow 617. ET Sports is amazing. I agree. Savage McCabbage. David, just a piece of cake. Dan Keeper. Johnny No Pockets. The Game Cat.
Everybody
Mr. Baki.
looking for
Sonic the Game Cat. Oh yeah.
Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be abused. Some of them.
It's fucking oh man, guys. Project Genesis, thank you so much. Nightmare Creatures, still one of my favorites. Roy Sports, love you, man.
Guys, let's fucking end this stream. Yeah, man, everybody. We love you all. 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 We love you all.
Hey, can you do that? Can you do that thing? Brian, can you do that that DJ thing?
What DJ thing?
The what? The Max Headroom thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Next time. I promise I'll practice.
Good
night, everybody. We love you.